Since Jilangjang's last challenge, another 5 years have passed. In these 5 years, the Jade Pure sect thrived smoothly, cooperating with the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate. Inside a quiet secret hall of the Jade Pure sect, Maju, who was betrayed by Hanju, is still detained. Thanks to Hanju's instructions, her cultivation wasn't neglected. Now her cultivation has reached the 8th level of the Golden Core realm. Maju frowned deeply, and between her eyebrows, there was a trace of murderous aura. Break out and leave this place. Avenge the Mo family. What are you waiting for? Your clan brother Mafuchu is still waiting for your help. This strange voice kept echoing in Maju's ears, like a ghost bewitching her, causing her body to tremble slightly and her mind to lose focus. After a long while, Maju suddenly opened her eyes, suppressing fear with anger. Who are you? Get away. I don't want you. You don't represent me. Cough. Maju suddenly coughed out a mouthful of blood, gasping for air, sweat pouring down her pretty face. I clearly practiced the Mo family's ancestral techniques, but why does this technique cultivate demonic energy? The voice in her mind just now seemed like a demon, even claiming to be the family head. Could it be that the Mo family was really from the demonic path? Maju hesitated whether to rebuild her cultivation technique. That voice kept tempting her, seemingly intending to pass on the technique to her. If I were to rebuild, who knows how much time it would delay? She couldn't help but think of Hanju. Back then, I achieved foundation establishment before him, but now Hanju's cultivation is unbelievably high. I finally have hope of catching up to him, and I don't want to give up. In a dark canyon, Su Chi was meditating. Demonic energy swirled around him. He had discarded his previous techniques and started over with the Demon Lord's demonic cultivation. His cultivation was growing rapidly, and he unexpectedly resonated with the Demon Lord's demonic techniques, even surprising the Demon Lord himself. As a human, to achieve this is indeed beyond my comprehension. But what's going on recently? Have I hit a bottleneck in my cultivation? The Demon Lord was very satisfied with Su Chi's cultivation, but dissatisfied with himself. My cultivation is always disturbed by inner demons. I haven't been able to properly cultivate. It's so annoying. He stood up and said, you just stay here and cultivate diligently. This place is protected by a formation I've set up. No one will dare to disturb you. Su Chi opened his eyes, asking with confusion, where are you going? I'm going out for a walk, to slaughter a few sects to ease my mind. With those words, the Demon Lord transformed into a wisp of demonic energy and dissipated on the spot. Su Chi hesitated. Should I take this chance to escape? Never mind. I should focus on my cultivation. The fact that the master hasn't taken action suggests he also wants me to take this opportunity to seriously cultivate in seclusion, instead of always needing his intervention. Thinking this, Su Chi buoyed his spirits and continued his cultivation. In the same month, the Jade Pure sect welcomed a distinguished guest, the sect master of the formless sect, Enlightenment Eccentric. He asked Dong Wangxian to stay outside the Jade Pure sect's gate while he went in first, just in case something happens. It's good to have someone watching my back. As the sect leader, Li Qingzi had no choice but to come forward. The elders gathered at the gate as well, including Lu Bumi and Leisure True Person. They thought Enlightenment Eccentric had come to seek revenge on them, but to their surprise, Enlightenment Eccentric was very polite, stating that his visit was to clear up a previous misunderstanding. Seeing he had no hostile intentions, Li Qingzi could only welcome him inside. I wonder where the Slayer God Elder of your sect is. I had a bit of a misunderstanding with him earlier, and I would like to visit him personally. A grudge with Elder Han? This statement truly surprised everyone. At that moment, Xiao Yao bowed and said, the Slayer God Elder invites Enlightenment Eccentric to Ascetic Immortal Mountain for a talk. Li Qingzi said, since the Slayer God Elder has invited you, I will take you there. Enlightenment Eccentric smirked coldly. His purpose for the visit was far from simple. Soon, the two arrived at the base of Ascetic Immortal Mountain. Enlightenment Eccentric could feel the rich spiritual energy around. This is a good place for cultivation. What brings you here, Senior? Hanju suddenly appeared before them, standing with his hands behind his back. What a handsome man. Seeing Hanju for the first time, Enlightenment Eccentric was taken aback by his charm. In a flash, his expression changed to one of solemnity, his eyes revealing a murderous intent. I've long heard of the Jade Pure sect's Slayer God Elder and have come to visit. Also, I wish to resolve any grievances between us. Please have a seat, Senior. What grievances exist between us? Though Hanju spoke politely, he had already made up his mind. This old turtle has entered the jar. Now let's not let him leave. Enlightenment Eccentric began. Previously, I was unaware that Miss Xing was your cultivation partner, and I indeed offended. It was my mistake. Therefore, after the Jade Pure sect took over the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate, I did not continue to target you, as a form of my apology. Hanju pretended to be puzzled. Is that so? Then I thank fellow Taoist. Let's leave the past in the past. Hanju thought to himself, in your life as well. Suddenly, the system notified, Enlightenment Eccentric's hatred towards you has increased to 5 stars. Damn, from 4 stars to 5 stars. You must really wish to tear me to pieces. Additionally, I have often been cursed over these years. Is that your doing, fellow Taoist? Hanju didn't dare to admit it aloud, but his hand holding the cup paused. I am here to clear the air, asking fellow Taoist not to take your anger out on me anymore. I will no longer disturb Miss Xing, and our two sects can establish a friendly relationship. A curse? I am an upright person. How could I engage in such despicable acts? Moreover, we have never met, so how could I curse you? Hanju feigned innocence. This guy has something. Being able to guess it was me cursing him. Hanju thought, no, this person cannot be left alive. Enlightenment eccentric inwardly cursed Hanju's shamelessness. With so many coincidences, if it wasn't you, then who else could it be? At the same time, he was estimating Hanju's strength. Although Hanju was equipped with spiritual treasures, he didn't emit an aura that alarmed him. Should I take this chance to kill him? His refusal to admit it shows he fears me. Though he has many spiritual treasures, they pose no great threat. Even in a fight to the death, he couldn't kill me. With my 9 tribulations divine ability, as long as my primordial spirit exists, my body will never perish. He can't win a war of attrition. If I eliminate him, both the Jade Pure Sect and the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate will fall into the hands of my formless sect. This thought in Enlightenment eccentric's mind grew uncontrollably like wild grass. Fellow Taoist, we don't need to pretend anymore. I'm not here to seek retribution, Enlightenment eccentric said with a smile. The system again notified, Enlightenment eccentric's hatred towards you has grown to 5.5 stars. Damn, it's still increasing. Enlightenment eccentric's hatred could no longer be suppressed, and he instantly mobilized his entire spiritual power. Unknown to him, countless 6 Paths ultimate seals had already shot towards Enlightenment eccentric. Hanju's eyes were cold as he sipped some hot tea. Outside the cave dwelling, Li Qingzi, Sun Chang'an, Yang Tiandong, and Chick were all waiting anxiously. Sun Chang'an frowned and said, Master dislikes being disturbed. This isn't breaking Master's rules, is it? Li Qingzi looked somewhat embarrassed and helplessly said, the sect master of the formless sect didn't forcefully enter ascetic immortal mountain, which is quite respectful. I didn't have much choice. Suddenly, a loud bang erupted from the innate cave dwelling, shocking everyone. Chick transformed into a streak of black lightning, dragging Li Qingzi into the innate cave dwelling. Upon entering the cave, they saw Enlightenment eccentric standing at the entrance. Enlightenment eccentric, what have you done to Elder Han? Li Qingzi shouted angrily. Don't attack. It's me. The 4 of them suddenly froze, recognizing Hanju's voice. I've obliterated his primordial spirit. Now it's my split soul controlling his actions. We need to act quietly now. I'll take his body and leave. We mustn't let the formless sect discover it was us who killed him. Li Qingzi was panic-stricken. Understood. I'll immediately start spreading the news that Enlightenment eccentric has already left, eliminating Enlightenment eccentric's primordial spirit in just 2 breaths. How strong is Elder Han exactly? In fact, Hanju had already simulated the battle 8 times before, finding that the simplest way to deal with Enlightenment eccentric was to obliterate his primordial spirit with the 6 Paths ultimate seal directly. There's no time to lose. Sect leader, you should act now. Considering everything, Hanju now has no formidable enemies. The Vermilion Bird is in the heavens, and the monster taming demon sect is in the distant northern region. He doesn't know whose doorstep to leave Enlightenment eccentric's body at. If all else fails, just pick a random demon clan to take the blame. At this time, Dong Wangxian and others, following orders, were still waiting outside the Jade Pure Sect. Seeing Enlightenment eccentric hastily leaving, Dong Wangxian immediately gave chase. Before his death, Enlightenment eccentric's Union Realm spiritual power was untapped, and with Hanju's soul controlling, Enlightenment eccentric's body was able to fly at full speed. Dong Wangxian couldn't keep up. To shake them off, Hanju went full throttle and whooshed away, disappearing without a trace. Half a month later, with the old monster's body's spiritual power nearly depleted, Hanju, controlling Enlightenment eccentric, arrived in a deep mountain. He left clues that would cast suspicion on the disciples of the formless sect with the last bit of spiritual power before withdrawing his clone. Dong Wangxian, who had been following the trail, found that his master had entered the territory of the Green Python Great Sage, a figure they couldn't afford to provoke. Dong Wangxian flew on his sword, frowning as he discerned the direction of Enlightenment eccentric. Suddenly, 2 figures appeared ahead, surprisingly Zhou Fan and Mafuchu. The 3 passed by each other, and for some reason, Zhou Fan and Dong Wangxian inexplicably turned their heads to look. Seeing each other, both parties felt an inexplicable palpitation, as if facing a natural enemy. Neither group lingered, each disappearing in opposite directions. Zhou Fan said to Mafuchu, that guy just now annoyed me. I want to beat him up. Mafuchu responded, unamused. Can you not be so impulsive? Following you, I've suffered so much. Don't you have any sense? We're just returning to the Jade Pure Sect to visit old friends. Don't stir up trouble. Zhou Fan chuckled. I really want to see the faces of those people in the Jade Pure Sect when they see us, especially Hanju. Inside the innate cave dwelling, Hanju was checking Enlightenment eccentric storage rings. This guy being the master of a sect really paid off, owning 4 storage rings. Hanju nearly drooled while counting. All these treasures and resources are enough to establish a sect. If handed over to the Jade Pure Sect, it would surely soar even faster. But Hanju wouldn't be so selfless. This delivery man is too good. All of this is mine. While Hanju was happily playing with various treasures, Li Qingzi's voice came from outside the cave. Elder Han, there's trouble in the secret hall. Maju has fallen into demonic insanity and is rampaging. All beings in the vicinity of the secret hall are nearly slaughtered, fallen into demonic demonic insanity? Is she going to follow in Mafuchu's footsteps? Hanju opened the panel. The most eye-catching notification was, your friend Maju has awakened her demon soul, fallen into the demon path, and her desire to kill has greatly increased. Awakened demon soul? What's that? At this moment, Maju was sitting cross-legged in the secret hall, surrounded by pitch-black demonic energy. The demonic energy enveloped Maju, who let out a cold laugh. Any being that came into contact with the demonic energy was instantly pulverized. Soon, Hanju arrived at the secret hall. Everyone sighed in relief upon seeing him. Master Jingshu said, fortunately, the secret hall is surrounded by protective restrictions, and the disciples kept their distance, avoiding disaster. But the protective array has been shattered by the demonic energy. However, it's strange that Maju sealed herself shortly after her rampage began, without any further movement. It seems she didn't want to harm the sect. The demonic energy in front of Hanju completely enveloped Maju. This doesn't look like a seal, more like a cocoon. Master Jingshu nervously asked Hanju, could there be an even bigger outbreak? Hanju said, easily shattering a protective array that defends against spirit transformation and fusion void realm experts. This demonic energy is not simple. Immediately evacuate the disciples within 10 miles of the secret hall. Master Jingshu promptly acted on the instruction, leaving Hanju alone to watch over Maju. He approached the demonic energy cocoon, attempting to probe but couldn't sense Maju's presence. This demonic energy has a strong resistance. Hanju puzzled. Maju hasn't reached the nascent soul stage, yet the demonic energy she cultivated has such resistance. Oh no, could there be someone else inside? In such a crucial moment, only one thing can be done. Hanju used the heaven and earth mysterious yellow boundary breaking sword finger, and a streak of golden light shot out, shattering the cocoon formed by the demonic energy. Indeed, Maju was inside, and to his embarrassment, she was without a stitch on her snow-white skin dazzling to the eyes. The moment Maju's body hit the ground, Hanju immediately took off his robe and rushed over, quickly covering her with it. Hanju continued to probe the Maju in his arms. There were no other souls in her body, meaning she wasn't possessed. Using the 6 realms of reincarnation, Hanju sent his primordial spirit into Maju's soul, finding it transforming, becoming unlike that of a human. What exactly is the origin of the Mo family? Mafuchu also fell into the demon path before. Hanju was deep in thought when Maju slowly opened her eyes, and Hanju's face came into her view. She wasn't startled. Instead, she looked at Hanju with a dazed expression. Now, Maju had become much more beautiful than before, her charm more bewitching, enough to make most men's hearts flutter. Wait, the color of her pupils is off. Maju, have you advanced to the nascent soul stage? But why was there no tribulation crossing? Hanju asked in surprise. However, as if Maju didn't hear him, she swooshed off the robe Hanju had draped over her and continued to approach Hanju with those mystifying purple pupils. Hanju slapped her, sending Maju flying from one side of the secret hall to the other, breaking several pillars in the process. Stunned awake by the pain, Maju muttered, ouch, who hit me? Turning her head, she saw Hanju. Why are you here? Coming to her senses and quickly realizing her state, Maju exclaimed, Hanju, you pervert, you've seen my body. You have to take responsibility for me. From now on, I'll cling to you. Hanju looked helpless. Are you trying to scam me? After a bout of crying and fussing, Hanju began to inquire about the demonic energy. What's the deal with your Mo family? Why have you turned into a demon? With a wronged expression, Maju said, I don't know either. Ever since I entered the Golden Core realm, I often heard a voice during my cultivation. At first, I thought it was an inner demon, but recently I found out it wasn't. After checking the family secret texts left by my brother, I learned that it was the will of my ancestors. The Mo family is not a demon cultivator in the cultivation world, but the true demon race. After the race was extinguished, their demonic techniques spread among humans, creating demon cultivators. My Mo family is descended from the union of the demon race and humans. Hanju asked with narrowed eyes, will you lose control? Hanju calculated how many slaps it would take to save her if Maju went mad and started slaughtering. Rolling her eyes, Maju said, I'm not a demon cultivator. Why would I lose control? Demon cultivators easily lose control because their bodies can't withstand the power of demonic techniques. Their inner demons are the backlash of the demon race's consciousness. By the way, I've inherited my ancestors' techniques, which include a dual cultivation method. Would you like to cultivate with me? The two fell into silence, the atmosphere turning awkward. Just then, Hanju suddenly received a system notification. Moiling has developed hatred towards you, currently at 3 stars. Damn, who's this now? Hanju immediately checked the interpersonal relationships for Moiling's information. Moiling, 5th layer of the tribulation crossing stage, 2nd generation head of the Mo family, trapped in a mysterious forbidden area and unable to escape. She has chosen Maju as her successor, hoping to rely on Maju to save herself. Due to Maju's feelings for you, she harbors animosity towards you, believing you might be an obstacle to Maju's growth, intent on eliminating you. Current hatred level 3 stars. This woman actually wants to kill me? Hanju silently added her name to the book of misfortune. Maju has feelings for me? Really? Maju hesitantly asked, would you like to practice that dual cultivation method with me? It would be beneficial for both of us. Hanju answered, "No thanks, you've just made a breakthrough. It's best to consolidate your cultivation first, and don't forget to return my robe. That's the only one I have." I really can't understand Moyuling's motive. A tribulation-crossing realm cultivator relying on someone in the nascent soul realm? It's impossible for Maju not to be influenced by the ancestral demonic techniques she's aligned with. To ensure Maju can cultivate peacefully, it seems I'll have another daily task. Xing Hongxian smiled and said, "Husband, I went to the Western Abyss province for training while I was away from Great Swallow. A person named Wei Yuan gave me a bunch of heavenly materials and earthly treasures as a greeting to you. Do you know him?" Hanju thought to himself, "Old Huang is quite thoughtful. Husband, there's another thing. I found this in the lands of the demon race. I saw two demon kings fighting over it, so it must be a heavenly material or earthly treasure. I managed to take it while they were both injured. This grass seems extraordinary. I wonder if it's useful to you." Suddenly, Hanju received a system notification, detected that this heavenly material and earthly treasure have the potential of an innate destiny holder. Do you want to view its origin? Grass. Has this grass turned into a spirit? Heaven-earth grass. 1,000 years ago, it was just an ordinary blade of grass. It encountered a deity meditating nearby and, after being exposed to the deity's aura for 100 years, gradually transcended its mundane nature. Over thousands of years, it faced several extinctions. Each time before its destruction, it instinctively turned to ash, scattering across the mortal realm to regrow. This grass has the potential to become a divine herb, even a deity. Grass. A deity's potential? Hanju exclaimed. "I appreciate the gesture. How have you been these years?" Xing Hongxian sighed. "I must say, it's only after going out that I realized how small Great Swallow is. Take the neighboring only because province. For example, the Jade Pure sect would not even count as a second-rate sect there. Is only because province that powerful? The Jade Pure sect's reputation today is all thanks to you, husband. It will surely surpass other states in the future." Hanju modestly said, "I was just forced into it." Xing Hongxian continued, "Husband, you're capable. Also, the list of the top 100 cultivators in the world has been updated again. I think husband should be at the top." Hanju was puzzled. Top 100 what now? Let me tell you, in the top 100, there's someone from the punishment department who uses a giant sword as a skateboard, super cool, and someone who bathes with a sword. Oh, I almost forgot. Hanju took out some elixirs from his storage ring. These are high-level elixirs for extending lifespan. Consider them enlightenment eccentric's apology gift. Take them. Given your mediocre talent, I'm worried you'll leave too early. Xing Hongxian was annoyed. Always such a buzzkill. You just love to tease me. Don't worry, I've already taken them, and I still have heavenly materials and earthly treasures on hand. My lifespan is still increasing. It's just rare to see someone over 400 years old still in the golden core realm. Xing Hongxian suddenly sighed. Speaking of lifespan, your senior brother from Jade Seclusion Peak, Lu Sanqin, passed away 10 years ago. Hanju was surprised. Senior brother Lu Sanqin? No wonder I felt like someone was missing these years when looking through the friend circle. During those decades on Jade Seclusion Peak, he often looked after me in cultivation, and now I want to repay him but can't. Xing Hongxian said. He was so close to the nascent soul realm, but the Jade Pure sect had too few life-extending medicines. If he had left Great Swallow earlier, maybe there would have been a sliver of hope. After all, Great Swallow's spiritual energy is too weak compared to other parts of the cultivation world. I don't want to leave this world yet. I still want to stay by your side. Elsewhere, in a dark cave, a boiling cauldron was cooking soup. Zhou Fan and Mafuchu were tied up and hanging upside down. Yang Tiandong entered. "Brother Zhou, are you okay?" Zhou Fan angrily cursed. "Pa, demon's lackey." Yang Tiandong, your master would be disappointed if he knew. Mafuchu tried to mediate. "It's okay, Zhou Fan, it's not his fault. It's our bad luck that we entered someone else's territory, and you impulsively killed their patrol demon. But they were too arrogant, calling us mere humans and demanding we kneel and beg for mercy. How could we tolerate that?" The green python great sage asked in a grim tone. "Yang Tiandong, you tell me, how should these two be dealt with? Cook them, or refine them into elixirs?" Yang Tiandong struggled to answer. "Stepfather, must we kill them?" The green python great sage coldly said. "They killed my demon soldiers. It's only just to repay life for life." Yang Tiandong, if you want to inherit my power, you must sever ties with the human race. Demons and humans cannot coexist. This is an iron law. You cannot be indecisive. Yang Tiandong thought to himself, to hell with it. Do you really think I want to be a demon? The green python great sage asked Yang Tiandong. "So, have you made your decision? I highly recommend frying them." Yang Tiandong thought sadly. "Zhou Fan, I'm sorry. We swore to die on the same day, but I never imagined it would end like this. If I had known, I would never have ventured recklessly." Originally, Yang Tiandong had set out with a passion to make his mark. After 2.5 years of hard work, he had gathered over 800 strong followers, but in one night, after encountering the green python great sage, it was all for naught. Due to his unique bloodline, he was then taken in as an adopted son. What did I set out for? Maybe Master was right. Venturing out into the world comes at too high a price. At this moment, a small demon reported, "My lord, there's a fire outside. A cultivator claiming to be Dong Wangxian from the Formless sect is causing havoc, seeking revenge for his master. He's too strong. We can't stop him. The Green Python Great Sage sneered. The formless sect? I have a grudge with Enlightenment eccentric Yang Tiandong. You stay here and watch them. Yang Tiandong was conflicted internally. Should I take this opportunity to save them? Meanwhile, Dong Wangxian was shouting outside. Is this all you've got? Call out your king. Suddenly, Dong Wangxian felt something was wrong. Such a strong demonic aura. It's even more formidable than Master's. Could it be? The Green Python Great Sage finally appeared, daring to run wild in my territory. Are you tired of living? You fiend! Was my master killed by you? The Green Python Great Sage was shocked. Oh, Enlightenment eccentric is dead? Ahaha, good riddance. Truly a joyous occasion. Dong Wangxian roared. So it was Green Python Great Sage that Master's clues pointed to. It was you. I'll fight you to the death. The Green Python Great Sage laughed maniacally. Haha, and what if it was? Today, I'll kill you too and make soup out of you. Meanwhile, back in the cave dwelling, Hanju was unaware that soon there would be someone he might never see again. Since Xing Hongxian left, Hanju had resumed his cultivation. Occasionally, Hanju would water the heaven-earth grass and let it bask in the sun. Now, the spiritual energy here is denser than the demon territory where it was previously located. The heaven-earth grass has cultivated the habit of absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, and its growth is promising. Hanju looks forward to a developing spiritual intelligence. Just don't get stepped on. This remark was clearly meant for Chick. This silly chicken has grown taller than the entrance of the cave. Before long, Li Qingzi came for a visit, and Hanju immediately asked, Sect leaderly, what brings you here? Has the formless sect come again? Li Qingzi shook his head, saying sadly, no, it's that the Supreme Elder is nearing his end. Hanju frowned in silence. The Jade Pure sect has only one Supreme Elder, who is Li Qingzi's master and had interactions with Hanju before. Over the years, the Supreme Elder's cultivation has hardly increased. Naturally, his lifespan has not extended much either. Do you need me to see him? Hanju asked, considering the man an old acquaintance. He didn't want to have regrets like with old Tai. Li Qingzi shook his head. My master has already left the Jade Pure sect. Last year, he failed again in his attempt to break through to the spirit transformation realm. Coupled with the shortage of life-extending elixirs, he decided to go out in search of opportunities. He said if he does not return in 20 years, then he would be dead. Before he left, he asked me to thank you, saying that without Elder Han, the Jade Pure sect would not have today's prosperity. Hanju remained silent. The gratitude might be sincere, but those words clearly had another meaning. Hanju did not inquire further. Elder Han, although my cultivation is also improving, it feels difficult to achieve the spirit transformation. If one day I also face my end, who among the sect's disciples do you think is suitable to be the next sect leader? Li Qingzi asked. His expression was not gloomy. Having lived so long, he had sent off many old friends and was accustomed to partings and deaths. Hanju shook his head. I'm in seclusion all year round. How would I know? Looking at the Jade Pure sect, the disciples with the strongest talents are all under your tutelage. Just now, I noticed that Sun Chang'an and Murong Qi are both attempting to break through to the nascent soul. Such rapid progress is unmatched in the Jade Pure sect, except by Elder Han. If they could succeed, Hanju knew Li Qingzi was trying to tie him and his disciples or grand disciples to the Jade Pure sect permanently. If either he or his disciples became sect leader, it would be even less likely for him to leave. Hanju seriously said, Sect leader, I understand what you mean. These two indeed have excellent talents, but one thing must be clear. If one day I wish to leave the Jade Pure sect, neither of them can keep me here. Since I was born into this world, I have only one goal in life, and that is immortality. To reach such a realm, I must be free of attachments and unaffected by karma to succeed. I can pursue this goal while helping the Jade Pure sect, but I will not give it up because of the sect. Li Qingzi was not surprised. The main reason for choosing Murong Qi and Sun Chang'an is their talents. Despite the Jade Pure sect's growth, there are few disciples with talents comparable to these two. Yang Tiandong was unreliable, and Su Qi is not good at management, so I never discussed this with you. So, sect leader, you had your eye on my disciples from the start. You've been planning this for a while. Li Qingzi continued, we've been prepared for this, as the temple is too small to contain a Buddha like you. Plus, the spiritual energy of Great Swallow limits you too much. It was only a matter of time before you would leave. We are already satisfied with the scale of the Jade Pure sect now. If you, Elder Han, wish to cut off karma to fulfill your long-cherished wish, we will not stop you. After all, you should live for yourself. Li Qingzi's words made Hanju feel relieved. Thank you for your understanding, sect leader. I think Murong Qi has an excellent talent. You should take him out for training. If I may ask boldly, how is my master, Fairy Shishuan's lifespan? Li Qingzi said, please rest assured, Elder Han. Junior sister's talent is higher than mine, and she has encountered special opportunities over the years. Living for several hundred more years will not be a problem. After discussing the Tao for a while, Li Qingzi bid farewell and left. I cannot help you on the path to immortality, but if we are destined to meet in the next life, I will do my best to support you. This was Hanju's silent promise to the people of the Jade Pure sect. 7 years flew by, and the heaven-earth grass finally developed spiritual intelligence. Although it could not yet think, it was was a leap in growth. To celebrate, Hanju took out the Book of Misfortune to curse the Vermilion Bird and Moyuling. It's been a long time since I've checked the friend circle. It's almost fading. He quickly opened the interpersonal relationships to check the messages. Your disciple Yang Tiandong, friend Zhou Fan, and friend Mafuchu have been attacked by a demon king, severely injured, and are on the brink of death. How did all three of them get attacked by a demon king at the same time? Although this was old news from a few years ago, their profile pictures indicated they were still alive. Mere life-threatening dangers were not enough to compel Hanju to take action. At this moment, Hanju was at the 6th layer of the Union Realm, while many of his old acquaintances in the friend circle had entered reincarnation. Hanju discovered that the Supreme Elder had ultimately passed away, which saddened him. This made him suddenly want to visit his master. After all these years, Fairy Shishuan had still been cultivating in Jade Seclusion Peak. Approaching his master's door, Hanju hesitated. It's indeed rude not to have visited for so long. Just as he was about to knock, Fairy Shishuan's voice came from inside. Come in, the door is unlocked. Hanju pushed the door open, and his master was already coming to greet him. Hanju respectfully called out, Master. Fairy Shishuan did not respond verbally. After all, addressing each other as fellow Taoist was more accurate. Her aura was more ethereal than ever, and her beauty was not enchanting, purely likable, reminiscent of a celestial fairy. As they talked, both felt melancholic, discussing the Supreme Elder. Master, the spiritual energy of Jade Seclusion Peak is too scarce to improve your cultivation. Why not move to my place? I've specifically prepared a luxurious cave dwelling for you, Hanju suggested. Fairy Shishuan frowned. That's your territory. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to go there. In my life of ascetic cultivation, I care about very few people, and you, Master, are one of them. I don't wish to walk the long path of cultivation alone in the end. If possible, I hope to pursue the great Tao alongside Master. If others heard Hanju's words, they might think he was hitting on her, but Fairy Shishuan understood Hanju. Ever since he became her disciple at Jade Seclusion Peak, he had been devoted to ascetic cultivation and never left the Jade Pure sect. Come on, I won't disturb you normally. After hesitating for a moment, Fairy Shishuan eventually agreed. Seeing such a luxurious cave dwelling, Sun Chang'an initially had some expectations. I thought this luxurious mansion was for me. Turns out Master has brought back a woman. Chick grumbled. Even I, your brother Chicken, don't have a cave dwelling, and you, a scrawny mule and a short pumpkin, want a mansion. After settling Fairy Shishuan in, Hanju reminded her that he was just next door, and she could call him anytime if she needed anything. At this inappropriate moment, Chick came over. Master, will Fairy Shishuan want to eat you? In the past, the dark prison chicken might not have understood such things, but it certainly does now. Daring to tease its master with this, it was time for some loving discipline. During the last visit, when Dong Wangxian challenged the Green Python Great Sage, Xian Zhishir, also known as Xian Qingjun's junior sister, and the person Zhou Fan and Mafuchu refer to as Lady Xian, she took advantage of the chaos to sneak into the cave dwelling and rescued the two. By the time the Green Python Great Sage returned, it was already too late. The Green Python Great Sage could sense Xian Zhishir's realm and did not pursue further. With nowhere to vent his anger, the Green Python Great Sage took it out on Yang Tiandong. Not long after, Yang Tiandong found an opportunity to break free from control and planned to unite with other demon kings to deal with the Green Python Great Sage. Hearing that a new demon king named Primordial Chaos Great Sage had emerged in the northern province, Yang Tiandong's first stop was to visit him. Upon learning that someone was seeking an audience, the Primordial Chaos Great Sage, surrounded by a host of demons, slowly made his appearance. Yang Tiandong immediately stated his purpose. I wish to join forces with you to confront the Green Python Great Sage. Afterward, we can divide his territory equally. What do you think? The Demon King coldly said. I advise you to abandon this idea. The Green Python Great Sage is very tricky. There are few demons in the 10 states and 9 dynasties that can defeat him. Yang Tiandong immediately patted his chest and stated, Diansu Demon King is my adoptive father, and the Slayer God Elder from the Great Swallow Jade Pure sect is my master. With their support, our chances of victory are significant. The Demon King was taken aback upon hearing these names. Seeing that the Demon King did not respond, Yang Tiandong immediately made clear the pros and cons. You should understand the principle that if the lips are gone, the teeth will be cold. The Green Python Great Sage has been aggressively expanding his territory and will eventually come for you. Now, with the formless sect besieging him and depleting his vital forces, if you don't seize this opportunity, we'll end up as his dogs if we wait any longer. Unexpectedly, the Primordial Chaos Demon King exploded upon hearing the last sentence. Say that again. Are you looking down on dogs? Before the words faded, a huge silver figure appeared in front of Yang Tiandong. This Primordial Chaos Demon King was none other than the Chaotic Heavenly Dog. Over the years, the Chaotic Heavenly Dog had lost its puppy fat and had become very robust. At this moment, Yang Tiandong was stunned. This Demon King looked familiar. The Chaotic Heavenly Dog was also taken aback. This fool seeking death looked familiar. Then, simultaneously, they exclaimed, It's you. The reunion of old friends turned into an argument within minutes. doggy expressing his displeasure. I'm now called the primordial chaos great sage. Yang Tiandong scoffed. What's wrong with calling you doggy? I used to call you that when you were a kid. Believe it or not, I'll go back and complain to our master. The primordial chaos great sage retorted. You have the nerve to seek him out? You don't even return yourself, and you have the cheek to talk about me? Yang Tiandong felt awkward. Indeed, he was too embarrassed to return to Hanju. Since becoming a demon king, the seeds of power and ambition had taken root in his heart, preventing him from resuming his previous ascetic cultivation lifestyle. Yang Tiandong said, we are from the same lineage, we should support each other. I heard you often face assassination attempts from other demon kings, leading a miserable life. How about this? Join me in a big venture. Let's take down the green python great sage together, and we'll split his territory, 70% for me, 30% for you. Doggy helplessly shook his head. No, I can't beat him. Yang Tiandong encouraged. Don't be afraid. I know just the two of us aren't enough. I plan to rally other demon kings as well. Strength in numbers. Think about all the years we've struggled to become stronger and more respectable, to make our master proud. This is our chance to return without shame. Finally, Doggy was persuaded. All right, I'm with you. I knew Doggy was the best. Yang Tiandong said happily. Call me primordial chaos great sage. 8 years later, Morong Chi had become the pride of the Jade Pure Sect's inner sect, dominating with his peak golden core realm strength. One day, a disciple reported that Zhou Fan and Mafuchu had returned. Morong Chi asked where they were, and the disciple replied that the two went straight to the mountain for ascetic cultivation. Morong Chi sighed in relief. Then it's fine. Zhou Fan remarked, finally back. The Jade Pure Sect has changed a lot, and the spiritual energy is much denser than before. I wonder how Maju is doing. While Mafuchu was worried about his sister, Zhou Fan was curious about Hanju, saying, this time, I want to see just how powerful Hanju has become. Mafuchu tried to dissuade him. Forget it. Recently, the Jade Pure Sect even took in the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate. Hanju is probably stronger than you, Zhou Fan stubbornly said. The way I see it, the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate sought refuge with the Jade Pure Sect because they were driven to desperation by the Formless Sect. The Formless Sect hasn't troubled the Jade Pure Sect, probably because their sect master met with some misfortune, delaying their plans. Mafuchu agreed. That's true. Zhou Fan mockingly pointed at disciples practicing flying swords in the sky. Really, compared to the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate, the Jade Pure Sect might not be any stronger. Just look at those disciples over there. Who still installs railings on flying swords these days because of a fear of heights? Zhou Fan said, see, their strength is far inferior to that of the big sects. Xianshishir was sweating internally, wondering how these two couldn't see that the mountain's spiritual energy was so abundant it almost matched the hidden sacred places and ancient families. At this moment, Zhou Fan confidently shouted to Hanju, Brother Han, Zhou Fan is here. I'm going to beat you until you're searching for your teeth on the ground. Outside the innate cave dwelling, Hanju was teaching Dark Prison Chicken and Sun Chang'an the Supreme Finger Divine Sword. Hanju said, today, I'll teach you the Supreme Finger Divine Sword. Whether you can learn it depends on your fate. Watch the flow of my spiritual power, circulate it for a round, and gather the spiritual power to shoot out from the fingertip. Dark Prison Chicken said awkwardly, Master, I don't have fingers. Hanju thought for a moment and said, the tip of a feather will do. The chicken excitedly shouted, ha, behold my ultimate wing sword, and then successfully shattered a distant rock. I did it. Hanju praised. Not bad. Learned it in one go. From now on, it's called the ultimate tasty chicken wing. Sun Chang'an curiously asked, Master, what breed is Chicken Brother exactly? With such talent, it doesn't seem like a chicken at all. Dark Prison Chicken immediately corrected, what Chicken Brother? Call me Chicken Lord, and I've told you, I'm a phoenix. Do you really think I'm a chicken? Sun Chang'an felt speechless. Your size really doesn't do justice to a phoenix. At that moment, Hanju received a system notification detecting the strongest person within the Jade Pure Sect, Xianshishir, at the 9th layer of the Union Realm, the Demon Lord's junior sister. Could she be my aunt-in-law? Hanju speculated internally. Soon, Mafuchu, Zhou Fan, and Xianshishir arrived outside the innate cave dwelling. Zhou Fan excitedly greeted, Hanju, long time no see. You remember me, right? Hanju smiled. Of course, Brother Zhou, Brother Mo. It hasn't been easy for you these years. Hearing this, Zhou Fan and Mafuchu's tears flowed freely. Indeed, they had been struggling on the edge of life and death for years. Zhou Fan stubbornly said, who says? I've lived a dashing life these years, wandering the world with my sword, filled with thrilling adventures, and I've gained quite a few opportunities. Afterward, Zhou Fan provocatively suggested a spar with Hanju, claiming he was now a half-step into spirit transformation, qualified enough. He speculated Hanju was still stuck in the spirit transformation realm without making a breakthrough. Hanju didn't want to argue and told them to report to the sect leader first. Zhou Fan thought Hanju was afraid of losing face and suggested they could spar quietly, even offering to take Hanju out for adventures. Dark Prison Chicken couldn't stand it anymore. Who do you think you are? A mere nascent soul daring to challenge my master. Believe it or not, Chicken Lord could slap you to death. Zhou Fan, unimpressed, said to Hanju, Hanju, your chicken is quite arrogant. Ha, what's the problem? Hanju, if you can't control your demonic pet, it might turn on its master. Shall I discipline it for you? Hanju couldn't be bothered, casually saying no objections, and then instructed Chicken Lord, just remember not to injure him. Xianshishir and Mafuchu could tell that the chicken was no ordinary bird, with Xianshishir particularly curious about just how strong Hanju was, given even his chicken was so formidable. The cultivation of this demonic pet, Fusion Void Realm. Zhou looked astonished. What does that mean? You think I can't beat it? Mafuchu reminded Zhou Fan, something's off with this chicken. Let's just let it go. We've just returned. Let's rest a few days. It won't be too late to challenge Hanju after we've figured out more about him. But Zhou couldn't hold back. It's just a chicken. No need to be so cautious. He immediately got into position, shouted to activate his full power. His muscles swelled, and blood veins spread all over him as he threw a punch at Dark Prison Chicken. This punch has severely injured a spirit transformation before. Little chick, you should feel honored. Zhou was full of pride. However, when his fist hit the chicken, only to see Dark Prison Chicken's feathers and fat tremble like cotton candy. Is that all? Chicken Lord said disdainfully. Zhou roared, unbelievable. You dare mock me, you sick chicken. If I weren't worried about offending Brother Han, I wouldn't have held back. Now, watch carefully. This is the real deal, the full-powered state. Zhou gathered strength again and launched an even more ferocious strike, Explosive Shattered Demon Scale Palm. The name of the move was not only cool, but its special effects were also impressive. Indeed, the palm strike was powerful, sending Dark Prison Chicken, who weighed 20 tons, flying into the sky. Zhou then unleashed a series of aerial combo attacks, gathering surging spiritual power in his knee, and delivered an unstoppable kick to the Dark Prison Chicken. Don't hit the face when you're beating a chicken. This kick landed solidly on the face of the Dark Prison Chicken, and the anger from being mocked earlier had reddened his eyes with rage. He vented his anger with punch after punch. The air in the sky heated up from the friction. Zhou suddenly lifted his leg, kicking the Dark Prison Chicken into the sky, like a meteor chicken breaking through the heavens. Outside the atmosphere, the Dark Prison Chicken felt close to the sun for the first time. So warm, so comfortable. I want to sleep. The Dark Prison Chicken remembered the teachings of Hanju from his childhood. When you fight someone, assess your opponent's true level as soon as possible. Some people's strength far exceeds the realm they show, liking to play the pig to eat the tiger. So, don't expose too much strength to give your enemy an opening. Playing it safe is also good. The master is right. I need to endure a bit longer. What if Zhou has more powerful moves? The fact that that girl can associate with him indicates this guy must have something extraordinary. The Dark Prison Chicken opened its eyes in shock. Zhou indeed had another powerful move. Holding the falling star sky-shattering orb, he smashed it towards the Dark Prison Chicken. Stop! It was too late for Mafuchu to stop Zhou. This is the ultimate move Zhou used to kill a spirit transformation last time. With a loud bang, a huge explosion scattered the clouds above Ascetic Immortal Mountain, engulfing the Dark Prison Chicken in a scorching shockwave. Mafuchu, fearing Hanju would take action, quickly explained, Zhou didn't do it on purpose. But Hanju said indifferently, it's okay, no big deal. Could it be that chicken? Everyone looked to the sky again. Zhou was startled by the scene before him, seeing a bizarre pressure filling the sky, originating from a mass of cotton candy with a black back and a white belly. Is this all your strength? I didn't expect you to be truly weak. Boy, I, Lord Chicken, am done hiding. Let's lay it all out. You brat, prepare to face the wrath of the Fusion Void Realm. What? Fusion Void Realm? Zhou was shocked and instinctively stepped back. The Dark Prison Chicken flapped its wings, shooting out countless sword energies from its feathers like a torrential downpour sweeping across, with the speed of the sword energy as fast as a startled swan. Zhou couldn't react in time. His mind went blank, and he once again felt the breath of death. Too familiar. It's the exact same sensation of death as last time. At the brink of life and death, Zhou thought of her, the love of his life, the only one he has ever loved, Lu Yao. Zhou was born into a family of carpenters. The girl next door, Lu Yao, the daughter of a landlord, was his only childhood playmate and his sweetheart. Since childhood, Lu Yao was a fan of Zhou always cheering for him. Born into a carpenter's family, Zhou had no talent in woodworking but was exceptionally gifted in cultivation, possessing a rare innate full spiritual power, making him one in a million. Both he and Lu Yao were selected by the Jade Pure sect. During their days in the outer sect energy cultivation realm, the extremely talented Zhou defeated all rivals in the sect and was quickly promoted to an inner sect disciple. He had also sworn to protect Lu Yao for life. Sister Lu Yao, I will always protect you. But the good times did not last. After entering the foundation establishment phase, Zhou inexplicably could not accumulate spiritual power, causing his cultivation to stagnate. The elders tried everything but could not find the reason. Thus, the once spirited young man fell into obscurity. Zhou also dared not face the vows he made with Lu Yao. If not for Lu Yao's pleading, Zhou would have been expelled from the sect long ago. His once arrogant behavior made him many enemies, and now in his downfall, he was constantly bullied by his fellow disciples. Every time, it was Lu Yao who protected him. Please stop bullying Zhou. However, Zhou repeated self-destruction deeply hurt Lu Yao's heart. heart. His inferiority and avoidance pushed Liu Yao further away. "Stop meddling in my affairs. Get lost." Eventually, Liu Yao became someone else's bride. She accepted the proposal from Brother Yi of Sword Peak, and they were about to get married. At that moment, Zhou Fan truly felt he had lost her. Since then, Zhou Fan devoted himself to cultivation. The reason he couldn't advance after foundation establishment was because his life's spiritual treasure was severely damaged in a previous life, constantly absorbing Zhou Fan's spiritual power for repairs. It was only today that it was finally fully repaired. Upon learning the reason, Zhou Fan gave his spiritual treasure a good beating. With the support of his life's spiritual treasure, Zhou Fan's cultivation speed surged, and he finally regained his former glory. Those who had bullied him were once again trampled under his feet. He swore to defeat all disciples of the Jade Pure sect, become the strongest in the sect, and take back his sister Liu Yao, until he met Han Ju and was utterly defeated in less than 3 seconds. All his hopes turned into bubbles once again. His failure made it impossible for him to keep his promise to Liu Yao, watching helplessly as she married someone else. From then on, Zhou Fan started cultivating madly, fighting with a determination to die, constantly wandering on the edge of life and death. Every time he stepped one foot into the gates of the underworld, he would think of Liu Yao again. Just like Han Ju said, Zhou Fan is the true protagonist in the cultivation story. Every time he faced death, he would encounter great opportunities. Finally, he inherited the tyrannical body from an ancient powerhouse. Many times he secretly returned home, just wanting to sneak a peek at her in his heart. When he saw Liu Yao again, she was already a mother, and the boy was as adorable as Liu Yao was in her childhood. Zhou Fan also secretly approached the child, seeing him as if he was seeing his younger self. It wasn't until the child said his name was Little Fan that Zhou Fan finally realized Liu Yao had never forgotten him. Zhou Fan didn't want to disturb their ordinary life, so he gave the child a totem he had carved himself in childhood, an ugly, strange bird. As time swiftly passes, decades are but a moment for high-level cultivators, while low-level cultivators still suffer the agony of separation and death. Liu Yao's husband died in a demonic sect invasion. Their eldest son, Little Fan, without any talent for cultivation, had also passed away. Now, Liu Yao, aged and alone, would still think of Zhou Fan. "I'm sorry, I couldn't fulfill our promise. If fate allows, see you in the next life." This time, Zhou Fan no longer hid. "Time has flown. I never thought you would not find immortality after all." Liu Yao was extremely excited. "Zhou Fan, brother Zhou Fan." Zhou Fan did not say much. He only wanted to remember her at her most beautiful. "Thank you for all the hardship you've endured in this life. If there is a next life, I, Zhou Fan, will serve you as your ox and horse. But in this life, I, Zhou Fan, want to try to become that ethereal immortal god. Han Ju, you are my inner demon." In an instant, a lifetime flashed through Zhou Fan's mind. Now, he calmly awaited death. "Let's stop here." A voice pulled him back from his memories. Just in the nick of time, a powerful spiritual power stood in front of him, neutralizing the sword energy from the dark prison chicken. With just one hand, Han Ju neutralized the attack of the fusion void realm, and this spiritual power made Zhou Fan feel its vastness. "Brother Han, what realm are you in now?" "Fusion void realm?" "More or less. You are indeed Brother Han. We struggled to death to reach the nascent soul realm, and you directly reached the fusion void realm. It seems I underestimated your talent." Xian Shishir dared not say much on the side. Some truths are better left unsaid. "It seems Brother Zhou hasn't recovered yet. How about we rest first, and then report to the sect leader?" "Alright, let's talk next time." "Thinking you can beat me is still too naive." "Master, how did I perform? I didn't disgrace you, did I?" Unbeknownst to him, Han Ju's expression was grim. "Is the fusion void realm very strong? Don't say I didn't warn you. That lady just now is a 9th layer Union Realm cultivator." "Union Realm? 9th layer?" "She and Zhou Fan have a deep relationship. If you hurt Zhou Fan, think about the consequences. Even I might not be able to protect you. Let's review the precautions. When fighting, remember to analyze whether the enemy has a stronger existence, to avoid beating the small ones and then facing the elder ones." "Understood, Master." Meanwhile, Mafuchu, dragging Zhou Fan, found Li Qingzi and performed an act of asking for forgiveness, finally receiving the sect's pardon. In less than a day, the news of Zhou Fan and Mafuchu's return spread throughout the entire Jade Pure sect, and their legendary experiences became a topic of great interest among the younger generation. Since being defeated by a chicken, Zhou Fan had become autistic. One's inner demon can only be defeated by oneself. Zhou Fan's current state was within Mafuchu's expectations, as Mafuchu himself had been defeated by Han Ju. Mafuchu said, "Talent cannot be generalized. Han Ju's attainment through ascetic cultivation is just an anomaly." Xian Shishir hesitated again. "Should I tell them that Han Ju is already at the Union Realm?" At this moment, Maju learned of her brother's return and came over happily. Hearing his sister's voice made Mafuchu very happy. However, he was shocked to see that Maju had also reached the nascent soul realm, causing him to involuntarily spit out in amazement. "How did you break through to the nascent soul so quickly?" Maju said, "I saw that Han Ju's progress with ascetic cultivation was fast, so I just followed and learned a bit." "What's so surprising about that? Isn't it normal?" "Normal? You call this normal? Where's the justice in the world? Why did I have to go out to experience hardships? Why did I have to to cultivate. Mafuchu's inner demon also emerged, driving him to jealousy. And so, the number of individuals with autism in the Jade Pure sect grew from 1 to 2. On the other side, in the Western Abyss province, it was bustling with excitement. The top 100 sects were holding a Tao discussion conference where cultivators from all sects gathered together to discuss the Tao of heaven and earth. You know, you should mingle more with the fellow Taoists regularly. It's beneficial for advancing your realm and also for the development of the Nine Dragons sect. You can't just isolate yourself, right? Sect leader Wei. Definitely next time. At this moment, a series of screams came from a distance. What's that sound? With a thud, something flew from afar and crashed to the ground. Emerging from the dust was a person, covered in wounds too terrible to behold. He was riding a giant demonic dog, also heavily injured. Isn't that disciple Yang Tiandong of reincarnation's predecessor? It was indeed Yang Tiandong and the chaotic heavenly dog. Huang Zuntian recognized them as disciples of reincarnation's predecessor and immediately called for fellow Taoists from all sects to come to the rescue. Fellow Taoists, that dog-riding cultivator is an old acquaintance of mine. Would you be willing to join me in rescuing him? Why not? We were just looking for an opportunity to exchange cultivation techniques. Yang Tiandong, come behind me. Yang Tiandong didn't expect so many people to be willing to save him. Shengwan Choujian was the first to stand in front. I want to see who dares to cause trouble here. A giant figure with dark green scales covering its body slowly approached, its terrifying pressure silencing everyone present. The newcomer was the Green Python Great Sage. A bunch of ants dared to block my way, seeking death. Huang Zuntian sensed the newcomer's aura and knew it was not good, but there were still those foolhardy enough to want to teach this demon a lesson. A cultivator activated a technique claimed to be capable of killing Union Realm beings and attacked the Green Python Great Sage. However, before his attack could land, the Green Python Great Sage's bone club had already struck. With a snap, the cultivator was shattered, unable to gather himself again. Damn, a peak Union Realm demon. The crowd realized the danger too late. Overestimating yourselves. Trash. Die. Huang Zuntian narrowly escaped back to his own sect, gasping for air heavily. Finally back alive. I can't go out recklessly anymore, nor can I just save anyone. Recalling the events that happened, he couldn't help but shiver in fear. That Green Python Great Sage was too strong. In the short years he fled for his life, the Green Python Great Sage's power surged, starting to advance towards the human territories. He attacked human lands under the guise of hunting Yang Tiandong. Huang Zuntian couldn't help but think of Han Ju, wondering if that predecessor could withstand the Green Python Great Sage. Reincarnation's predecessor, you must hold on. At the base of ascetic immortal mountain, Maju, Xianzhishir, and others came to visit Han Ju again. Maju, familiar with the place, warmly greeted Han Ju and his disciples upon arrival. Han Ju wasn't surprised to see Maju, but he was surprised that Maju was dragging along two uncolored line-drawn figures, the Dao heart-damaged Zhou Fan and Mafuchu. Han Ju invited them into the cave for tea and catching up. Mafuchu thanked Han Ju. If it weren't for Brother Han stopping Maju, she might have died early on her own adventures. Mafuchu was somewhat smarter than Zhou Fan. He quickly changed the subject, immediately asking Han Ju if there was any way to help him break through in his cultivation further. Han Ju smiled. There is a way, but it's quite costly in terms of clothing. Mafuchu, clueless, wanted to ask more but was stopped by a blushing Maju. Brother, stop talking. Han Ju stated, the demonic technique passed down in your family has already been inherited by Maju from your ancestors. Opportunities come only once. By the way, how is Zhou Fan doing? Looking at Zhou Fan, he had faded so much that not even his line drawing remained. Mafuchu shook his head and smiled bitterly. His mentality is usually good, and he's smart, so he should recover soon. When we were caught by the Green Python Great Sage last time, it was he who led Master Xian to appear and save us. Hearing this name, Han Ju's brows furrowed instantly. Green Python Great Sage? When we were captured before, we met your disciple Yang Tiandong. He has now fully transformed into a demon. If it weren't for him taking us as his sworn brothers and secretly helping us escape, the Green Python Great Sage would have eaten us by now. Han Ju angrily slapped the table. Mafuchu thought he was angry because his disciple had transformed into a demon, but actually, it was because the kid had acknowledged another father behind Han Ju's back. Mafuchu hurriedly explained, taking a sworn father was a temporary measure. Later, we heard that Yang Tiandong and the Primordial Chaos Great Sage, along with other demon kings, joined forces to besiege the Green Python Great Sage, but were completely annihilated. Furious, the Green Python Great Sage ordered a manhunt for Yang Tiandong. The matter has caused quite a stir. Han Ju covered his face and remained silent. Maju thought he was covering his face in sorrow for his disciple, not knowing that Han Ju was checking the system panel. Chaotic Heavenly Dog and Yang Tiandong are constantly attacked by demonic beasts. Doggy was severely injured by a demon king and fell into the Nine Serenities Marsh, his life and death unknown. Yang Tiandong encountered an attack by a demon king, was severely injured, and accidentally encountered an ancient teleportation formation, escaping to safety. Huang Zuntian and Shengwan were also severely injured by a demon king. These people, mingling together, were still beaten so miserably miserably. Xianshishir said that the green python great sage might step into the tribulation crossing realm at any moment with unfathomable cultivation, and even she couldn't match him. Even the 9th layer of the Union realm can't beat the green python great sage. Such a great demon is definitely a disaster for our human race. Mafuchu continued to sigh. Every time I recall the horror of the green python great sage, I get so scared I can't sleep at night. The outside world is very dangerous. Brother Mo, maybe you should stay in the Jade Pure sect and cultivate in seclusion from now on, Hanju said meaningfully. Mafuchu didn't immediately refuse, considering the suggestion was coming from Hanju. Ascetic cultivation. It's not impossible. I'll think about it. Although most of the Mo family's enemies had been eliminated and the remaining forces dared not trouble them, he and Zhou Fan, being demon cultivators, staying in the Jade Pure sect wasn't appropriate. Upon leaving, Mafuchu said, Zhou Fan and I will go back first and wait until he adjusts. Next time, we'll come together for a drink. Definitely. Just then, Xianshishir quietly drew her sword, launching a sneak attack without any regard for martial honor. With a swift somersault, she swung her sword towards Hanju in an instant. The sword swung out, tearing through the air with a whooshing sound. Despite the sword's speed, it hit nothing. Hanju had already disappeared from his spot. A streak of golden light flashed across, cutting through her throat, and her beautiful head detached from her body. Yet again, Hanju used only one move. At the 9th layer of the Union realm, that's all there is. It seems I might have a chance against the green python great sage after all, but just to be safe, I'll first try cursing that demon king with the Book of Misfortune. If it works and he gets struck dead by the thunder tribulation, it would save me a lot of trouble. At this moment, the system announced, simulation trial ended, time taken 4 seconds. Hey, wake up, big brother. Hanju's spiritual sense came out of the system, just in time to see Xianshishir's face close to his. May I ask, Han fellow Taoist, do you have a cultivation partner? Hanju neither denied nor nodded. Why does fellow Taoist ask such a question? He didn't point out Xianshishir's relationship with Xian Qingjun, still wary of her. After all, what if Xian Qingjun was harboring some plot? It's nothing, Xianshishir said, shaking her head and smiling. She didn't plan to reveal her identity or that of Xian Qingjun's. Hanju thought since she asked, she must have been sent by Xian Qingjun to check on him. Could it be that Demon Lord's wife has discovered my new love? I can't answer. Absolutely can't answer. Xianshishir also remembered her sister saying her cultivation partner was at the spirit transformation realm, while Hanju was actually at the Union realm. At this time, Maju and the others called for Xianshishir. Hurry up, let's go. There's a food festival at the base of Jade Pure sect with snail noodle soup to eat. Xianshishir bid farewell to Hanju and turned to leave, but from beginning to end, she harbored no fond feelings towards Hanju. Hanju thought, luckily she didn't bump into Xing Hongxian. To this day, Hanju still didn't understand why Xian Qingjun chose him as a cultivation partner. The ways of the cultivation world's fate are indeed strange. Within a demon king's cave in the mountains, the bulky green python great sage sat on his throne, puzzled about why he kept feeling the interference of a curse in his cultivation recently. In front of him boiled a large pot with soup, within which bones could be vaguely seen. If not for the spiritual treasure isolating it, I might have succumbed to this curse. It seems it's time to break through to the tribulation crossing realm. If I delay further, problems might arise. At that moment, a hawk demon reported, Your Majesty, Yang Tiandong has fled into the ancient origin province. Should we continue the pursuit? Green Python Great Sage's expression darkened. Of course, even if he flees to the ends of the earth, I will hunt him down until I tear him apart. He attacked me in conjunction with outsiders, despite my treating him like my own son. It provided me with a perfect excuse to expand my territory, spread my orders. Yang Tiandong is a patricidal ingrate. All our demon race must exterminate him on sight, and any sect that dares to shelter him will be massacred. As he spoke, another wave of the curse hit, but once again it was blocked by the treasure in his hand. It turns out Hanju was cursing Green Python Great Sage again from within his cave. However, despite numerous attempts, the system gave Hanju no feedback, leaving him uncertain if the curse was effective. Feels like I'm cursing in vain. Hanju browsed through his social circle, noticing that Yang Tiandong had only been attacked by beasts recently, without any pursuit from Green Python Great Sage. Could it be that old monster is hiding away for a breakthrough? After all, I haven't fought someone at the Tribulation Crossing realm yet. If Yang Tiandong really has nowhere else to go, he'll definitely return to Jade Pure Sect. If Green Python Great Sage follows him here, I'll have to face him. Hanju took a deep breath. If we can't beat it, we probably can't escape either. The only way now is to cultivate and level up. Green Python Great Sage on the other side was thinking the same thing, hurrying to Tribulation Cross. Once this king steps into the Tribulation Crossing realm, let alone the life and death of that beast, even the human world under heaven will all be this king's territory. At this time, inside the northern province, the monster-taming demon sect was actually gone, leaving only ruins and corpses. In the ruins, a man was standing there dumbfounded. What happened? They're all dead? After the demon lord left, Su Chi found an opportunity to escape from the valley. After that, Su Chi Chi had been cultivating in seclusion, and after breaking through to the nascent soul realm, he found a chance to return to the monster-taming demon sect. But after returning to the monster-taming demon sect, those disciples who used to look down on him began to target him again. Unable to bear it any longer, Chi killed those disciples. The sect elder was furious and imprisoned him in the dungeon of the monster-taming demon sect, subjecting him to torture every day. I haven't seen anyone in months. The restrictions on the dungeon have failed. It turns out they're all dead. He suddenly thought of a possibility. Could it be that Master took action? But why didn't Master rescue me from this hellish place? Wait, with the monster-taming demon sect wiped out, doesn't that mean I can go back? I understand now. Master wants me to experience more trials on my way back. Having figured it out, Chi felt enlightened and at ease. He continued to wander in the ruins of the monster-taming demon sect's gate to see if there were any treasures left behind. If there were any survivors, he would definitely finish them off. After all, he hated the monster-taming demon sect to the bone. After a while, Chi searched to a set of ruins. Holy shit, there really is a survivor. In the ruins, there was an old man. He was thin, his robes dirty and disheveled, standing like a corpse in the ruins of the monster-taming demon sect, his eyes lifeless. Are you also a disciple of the monster-taming demon sect? The old man asked tremblingly. May I ask who you are, sir? The old man sighed and said, I was also a disciple of the monster-taming demon sect once, but I was expelled by my master for making a mistake. In the blink of an eye, so many years have passed. I wanted to come back and take a look, but I didn't expect the entire sect to be annihilated. This is bad. Could this old thing be trying to re-establish the monster-taming demon sect? No, I have to take the initiative and kill him first. Chi couldn't stay in this ghostly place for a moment longer. As he spoke, Chi mobilized his demonic energy behind the old man, preparing to unleash his full nascent soul power in one strike. The old man continued, I used divine ability to search for days and nights, but couldn't find my master's corpse. I finally achieved Tribulation Crossing and wanted to resolve my lingering regrets before ascending, but now there is no chance. Tribulation Crossing realm? Chi was so scared he almost stopped breathing. The old man turned his head and stared at Chi. Then did you find my master's corpse? He still had no expression. A Tribulation Crossing realm cultivator couldn't possibly not notice that Chi had mobilized demonic energy, clearly pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger. Chi couldn't contain the tenfold power he had gathered and could only unleash it towards the ruins in front. Good child, thank you for cremating the deceased disciples of the demon sect for me. If it's all burnt, how am I supposed to find my master? I forgot to introduce myself. I'm called Dooku. And you? I'm called Chi. Since the last time he secluded himself to prepare to battle Green Python Great Sage, Hanju had ascetic cultivated for another 7 years, and now he had stepped into the 7th layer of the Union realm. Chick ate and slept stupidly every day, getting fatter by an entire circle, almost breaking the Fusang tree. The spiritual energy produced by Sun Chanen was even better than before, nourishing the gourd vine to the point it had already borne earth immortal gourds. Shishuan Fairy, borrowing the spiritual energy of ascetic immortal mountain, was about to step into spirit transformation. At present, everything was developing in the direction Hanju hoped for. He opened the system panel to see what happened in these 7 years. Shoufan's Dao heart was gradually recovering, and he started fighting and killing again. Last time when they came back, they ascetic cultivated in Jade Pure Sect for a year, but still left in the end. Shoufan wanted to continue going out to gain experience. When I come back, I'll deep fry that chicken. After all, ascetic cultivation and longevity only belonged to a minority. Bravely throwing oneself into the prosperity and strife of the human world was their final destination. When he saw what happened to Chi, even Hanju's jaw dropped. The monster-taming demon sect is completely gone. Chi, oh Chi, to be able to destroy an entire top-tier sect by yourself, I'm going to frame your photo and offer incense to you every day. You're much more useful than my shitty book of misfortune. Just as he was thinking, a cold voice sounded from behind. Husband, I'm back. Xing Hongshuan's pretty brows were tightly knitted, not at all as happy as she usually was when she returned. Why is madam so downcast? Were you bullied outside? Xing Hongshuan's eyes instantly filled with tears. I'm sorry, husband. It's really too chaotic out there. I didn't bring you back any treasures. Gifts and such don't matter. Your husband has money. As long as you come back safely, that's good. The injuries on your body aren't serious, right? Who would have thought Hanju could be so gentle? Xing Hongxian instantly blushed. Husband, you should pay more attention to the outside world. A demon called Green Python Great Sage appeared out of nowhere, rampaging through the human world under the pretext of hunting down traitorous sons. Do you think he will attack our great swallow? It's said that even formless sect's enlightenment eccentric died at his hands. If even formless sect can't beat him, it seems that demon is indeed formidable. Hanju didn't dare say that enlightenment eccentric's death was his doing. Hanju hugged Xing Hongxian with a pat. Don't worry, wife. If he comes to attack Jade Pure Sect, if I can't beat him, I'll take you and run. Hearing this, Xing Hongshuan's heart was instantly delighted. Am I that important in husband's heart? Of course, wife is the most important. Xing Hongxian smiled so wide she couldn't close her mouth. Then I'm at ease. At ease? At ease about what? Are you sure I'm your one and only only in this life? Xing Hongxian continued to question. Of course, Hanju also replied with certainty. Really? Let me ask again. Of course. What else? When I came back, I discovered an additional cave residence nearby, even more luxurious than mine. Whose cave residence do you think it is? Shit, not good. There's killing intent, Hanju said with a straight face. It's Sichuan fairies. I invited her over to make it convenient for her to cultivate. Oh, is it cultivation or dual cultivation? Don't talk nonsense. She's my master. Only a master-disciple relationship? Xing Hongshuan's sharp gaze could no longer be hidden. Hanju froze. His mind could no longer search for an answer. Husband, I'm asking you a question. What to do? Waiting online anxiously, Green Python Great Sages might had already blown to the Great Swallow territory. All the sects were very panicked. In their eyes, Formless Sect was previously invincible. They didn't expect another great demon to pop out who could single-handedly crush Formless Sect. How could they not be panicked? Almost all the sects sent people rushing to Jade Pure Sect to contact Li Qingzi. They knew that even if they joined forces, they would not be able to resist Green Python Great Sage, so they all hoped to come and gain the protection of Jade Pure Sect. Li Qingzi pacified the various sects to remain calm for now. He had already sent people to various states to gather information. Even if the demon army set out now, it would take several years to reach Great Swallow. Moreover, the demon army would inevitably pass through only because province, the only because dynasty's strength far surpassed Great Swallows, so it was estimated they would stall the demon army for some time, only because province has the most Union Realm experts. As long as Green Python Great Sage isn't Tribulation Crossing Realm, he'll likely be stuck there. The various sect leaders, upon hearing this, told this ominous speaker to shut up quickly, because according to Nine Dragon Sect's secret report, Green Python Great Sage's cultivation had already reached the peak of Union Realm 9th layer and could Tribulation Cross and advance at any time. Instantly, the representatives of the various sects fell into another dead silence of despair. Speaking of which, inside the innate cave residence, Hanju was still being interrogated by his wife. Husband, do you think master-disciple feelings are true feelings? Hanju was already speechless. This woman had been nagging for a whole month. He couldn't let her be so jealous anymore. Hanju waved his hand. Wait, don't say it. While we men are in the world, it's normal to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. Look at those elders in the sect. Which one doesn't have several cultivation partners? Not to mention I, Hanju, only have you right now, so you should know your own importance. Although in the future I may also have other cultivation partners, if you let me decide who to marry as the main wife first, I will definitely choose you first. Hanju said these words with great righteousness, not knowing if it could fool her. Xing Hongxian, upon hearing this, instantly became joyfully excited and changed her attitude. I don't oppose you having 3 wives and 4 concubines. You'd better find a few more. In the future when you're in seclusion cultivating, I'll have companions too. So are you going to bring the little sisters back? I can't wait to get close with them. Hanju smiled and didn't dare respond. Who knows if this woman was really trying to trap him? Hanju's conversation with the two of them shocked the 2 fat men eavesdropping outside. It's good to be a cultivator. If this were an ordinary family, it would be a scene of carnage. Afterwards, Xing Hongxian began to get mischievous. Husband, I've thought about it. This dual cultivation is also a kind of cultivation. Come on, this time you have to be more invested, more rough. The 2 fat men didn't expect an additional surprise, but they heard Hanju's voice coming from inside the cave residence. Supreme Finger Divine Sword. With a boom, an absolute sword energy broke through the wall, scaring the 2 people outside into a flurry. You little brats, you even dare to eavesdrop at your master's walls? After cultivating for a month, Xing Hongxian left the cave residence. Husband, I'm leaving first. You cultivate well. Hanju's face was haggard, and he didn't make a sound. This Green Python Great Sage is coming aggressively. I need to break through to the 8th layer of the Union Realm as soon as possible. But first, I need to make up for what I've lost. From then on, Hanju began to cultivate in seclusion. In a flash, 3 more years passed. Hanju was awakened by a voice, a girl's voice calling for her master. Apart from himself, where did the woman in the cave residence come from? Hanju took his sword and came to the side of the pool and found that the voice was coming from the Heaven-Earth Grass. Seeing Hanju, the Heaven-Earth Grass excitedly called out to its master. What demon dares to become a spirit and seduce me in the form of a woman? Hanju pointed his sword at the Heaven-Earth Grass, scaring the grass into crying. The Heaven-Earth Grass said with grievance that its memories were recovering, and the memories of countless previous reincarnations were slowly coming back. A blade of grass actually has countless reincarnations. Could this guy be an immortal in disguise? The Heaven-Earth Grass said that in the past, it had another master who sat beside it for a very, very long time. Only then did Hanju understand that it was the immortal energy from the immortal's meditation that had caused this blade of grass to shed its mortal form. Hanju used his spiritual sense to feel the aura of the Heaven-Earth Grass. It wasn't strong. He could still easily step on it to death. The Heaven-Earth Grass said that in countless reincarnations, it was eaten by demons, burned to death by fire, and drowned by water, but it always revived. Wildfire cannot burn it out. The spring breeze blows, and it grows again. The system had previously indicated that this Heaven-Earth Grass had lived for at least 10 tens of thousands of years. A wild grass soul of tens of thousands of years old. Who would believe it if you said it? The heaven-earth grass then asked Hanju, now you are my second master. Will you abandon me? With the life and death tribulation approaching, I'm afraid it will implicate you, master. Hanju laughed. No, from now on, no matter where I go, I will take you with me. In this life, I, Hanju, will protect you. The heaven-earth grass said coquettishly, master is so good. At the same time, Hanju also received a system notification. The heaven-earth grass has developed good feelings for you. Current favorability is 5 stars. Being liked by a blade of grass, this feeling is so strange. In the ruins of the formless sect, 3 figures were standing silently. Shou Fan, Mafuchu, and Xianshishir traveled here, sighing that even the once powerful formless sect could not escape the fate of sect annihilation. Looking out, countless demons cover the sky on the mountain peak, an extremely shocking scene. Shou Fan frowned. Why are green python great sages demon soldiers increasing so quickly? The demon race has always been suppressed by the human race. Now that green python great sage has appeared as a hope, naturally they come flocking. After leaving Great Swallow, no matter where they went, there were green python great sages demon soldiers everywhere, as if all the demons in the world had already pledged allegiance to green python great sage. In the distance, the vast demon army formed a huge circle, as if guarding something. It's that green python great sage who wants to tribulation cross. If he successfully passes the thunder tribulation, he will be the only tribulation crossing realm powerhouse of the demon race. Reaching the tribulation crossing realm allows one to ascend to the upper realm, so there are very few tribulation crossing realm experts in the world. As for Mahayana realm cultivators who can suppress tribulation crossing realm experts, they are even rarer. Shou Fan asked in puzzlement, if tribulation crossing allows ascension, why is there still Mahayana? It's already not easy for ordinary cultivators and demons to cultivate to the fusion void realm. Reaching the union realm is a 1 in 10 chance of survival. If you want to go even higher, you have to bet on opportunities. If you're lucky enough to pass the thunder tribulation and achieve tribulation crossing realm, there's almost no room for further improvement. After all, at this level, opportunities and resources are no longer of much use, so most tribulation crossing realm experts choose to directly ascend. But there are always some people with great luck and peerless talents in the world. Even after reaching the tribulation crossing realm, they can still continue to cultivate in the mortal world. I have a senior sister who is a demon lord of the current era. She is already a Mahayana realm cultivator, but she is still making progress and has not chosen to ascend. Unlike me, although I'm only 1 step away from the tribulation crossing realm, it is as difficult as crossing a chasm. Shou Fan listened, also feeling his blood boil, declaring that he also wanted to be a Mahayana cultivator who did not ascend. Mafuchu looked at him with disdain and said, you should defeat Chick first before saying that. Green Python Great Sage is ambitious. I'm afraid the human race of the 10 continents and 9 dynasties is about to face a catastrophe of annihilation. Let's go. I'll take you to the overseas. Mafuchu worriedly said, will Jade Pure Sect be in trouble? Xianshishir didn't say anything, just shook her head. The others didn't understand what she meant. Brother Mo, we've already informed the sect leader about the matter of Green Python Great Sage. Let's hope Brother Han can take good care of junior sister Mo and the others. In the face of such a mighty force, we ourselves are just clay bodhisattvas. Having said that, the 3 of them turned into a golden light and disappeared into the sky. In a flash, another 7 years passed. Hanju woke up from seclusion again, only feeling that his eyes were shrouded in fog. How did my cave residence also get smog? However, this was not smog, but abundant spiritual energy. Hanju probed around and found that the source of the spiritual energy came from the heaven-earth grass. This little thing hadn't grown much taller, but had already begun to generate spiritual energy. No wonder it has the potential of an immortal. Its spiritual intelligence was just born not long ago, and it can already generate spiritual energy. Moreover, the richness far surpasses Sun Chang'an, since it can already communicate with the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Should I pass on some cultivation techniques to it? If I pass it on, maybe in the future it can become a great force for me. But what if heaven-earth grass betrays me in the future? I need to leave some contingencies. In order to be on the safe side, Hanju pretended to pat the heaven-earth grass, but actually imprinted the 6 paths ultimate seal on it. What cultivation technique should I pass on to you? Hanju's storage ring was full of cultivation techniques, so it was difficult to choose in a short time. In the end, he chose the Jade Purity Art. This was Jade Pure Sect's signature cultivation technique. After being perfected by 9 Cauldron True Person, it could now be cultivated up to the Fusion Void Realm. Hanju instructed Heaven-Earth Grass to study and cultivate well from now on. In order to cultivate its enthusiasm for learning, Hanju chose to accompany it. He also took out the Book of Misfortune to lead by example. Let's study hard and make progress every day. The power of the curse penetrated the innate cave residence, reaching far to a place shrouded in clouds and thunderstorms. It was deafeningly loud here, as if the end of the world had arrived. Terrifying heavenly lightning struck the green luminous scales one after another, stirring up gusts of gale as the 100-meter-long demon figure twisted crazily in the thunderbolts weighing tens tens of thousands of pounds. It turned out that Green Python Great Sage was tribulation crossing. Just at this moment, it suddenly felt the power of the curse arriving again, causing the heavenly lightning to change. The white lightning turned into purple lightning, and the heavenly tribulation upgraded. Damn power of the curse! Green Python Great Sage resisted the continuous upgrading of the purple lightning. If it were anyone else, they would have been blown to ashes long ago. With the ultimate strike of the heavenly lightning, Green Python Great Sage was blasted to the bottom of the lake. A golden bone staff soared out. Green Python Great Sage grabbed the bone staff and held it over its head. This magic weapon absorbed the tens of thousands of pounds of lightning for it, making Green Python Great Sage's difficulty in tribulation crossing much smaller. This king will use the power of the magic weapon and heavenly tribulation to deduce today and see which little rat is causing mischief. Green Python Great Sage activated its technique to deduce the heavens Tao, using the power of the bone staff magic weapon to trace the source of the curse. However, in the end, the deduction technique could not withstand the power of the curse. A violent explosion occurred in the air, rebounding and causing Green Python Great Sage to spit out a mouthful of blood. Damn little rat, why can't I deduce it? After I tribulation cross and advance, I will definitely pull you out. Green Python Great Sage, relying on the bone staff, continued to resist the purple lightning thunder tribulation. Spiritual power and the tens of thousands of pounds of lightning crazily collided, stirring up enormous waves on the lake surface. Then, Green Python Great Sage was heard chanting, "Thunder tribulation, break!" The last world-destroying power completely enveloped Green Python Great Sage. When the dust settled, Green Python Great Sage's figure appeared again. It had finally successfully tribulation crossed and officially stepped into the tribulation crossing realm. Terrible demon energy rampaged between heaven and earth, shaking the mountains and the earth. The little eagle demon quickly spread the good news throughout the demon army. From now on, this king is the true demon saint. You little rats of the human world, I will make you taste the most painful torment. Orders were sent to the demon kings in all directions to begin a full-scale attack on the human race, disregarding casualties. In the next 10 years, the demon army quickly swept across the various states, unstoppable. The human cultivators were routed, and the common people became food for the demon race. In this situation, a golden light flashed by. An overbearing aura instantly swept 100 miles in all directions, causing all the heaven-earth grass on ascetic immortal mountain to tremble. It seems that Master has advanced again. In these 6 years, Hanju and his disciples each cultivated on their own. Sun Chang'an began to miss his disciple Morongqi again and planned to go down the mountain to visit him. "Don't go, he's not in the sect right now." Sun Chang'an turned his head and saw that Hanju had come out of seclusion. In 6 years' time, Hanju had broken through to the 8th layer of the Union realm. "If you go down the mountain now, you will definitely be eaten by demons. I have deduced that Morongqi is fine now. With his extraordinary luck, he will definitely turn danger into safety when encountering matters." In fact, Hanju had already checked the friend circle. The outside world had already fallen into complete chaos. Sun Chang'an had no choice but to give up. He turned to look at Chick. At this time, Chick also woke up from its dream. "Wait, Master, Doggy has been out for so long and hasn't come back. Could it be dead outside?" "Don't worry, it's not dead yet, but it gets beaten up every day." "Master, I think that Green Python Great Sage will definitely attack sooner or later. Why don't we take the heavenly materials and earthly treasures of Jade Pure Sect and run away first?" Hanju raised his eyebrows and said, "Could it be that the Green Python Great Sage has come to kill us?" Li Qingzi said breathlessly, "Not yet, but the ancient origin province is already on the verge of falling. The Green Python Great Sage's demon army has exceeded 1 million in the surrounding Western Abyss province, and only because province are all in a bitter battle. I'm afraid it won't be long before they reach our Great Swallow." According to the reports from the disciples of the Morning Sun Division, that Green Python Great Sage has already broken through to the Tribulation Crossing realm, and not only that, there are already over 100 demon kings under his command who have reached the Union realm and Fusion Void realm. This time, can you still just say it directly if you want to exhaust me to death? Before Li Qingzi could finish speaking, he was interrupted by Hanju. After all, with so many demon kings on the enemy's side, he himself felt unsure. Hanju suddenly reacted, "Why aren't the human cultivation world joining hands? What about the promised shared destiny of humanity?" Li Qingzi expressed helplessly, "Currently, none of the 9 dynasties in the 10 provinces have a great cultivator at the Tribulation Crossing realm, so no one has been able to take the lead. Not even one? The human race is really weak. 2 years ago, there was a rumor that a great cultivator at the Tribulation Crossing realm appeared in the ancient origin province, but as soon as he showed his face, he was beaten half to death by the Green Python Great Sage. Now all the provinces are trembling in fear, and many sects have been forced to migrate. The Green Python Great Sage is indeed the strongest in the history of the demon race. In terms of both strength and physical defense, the demon race is inherently stronger than the human race, and their abilities at the same level are far superior to human cultivators. For so many years, the human race has been able to suppress the demon race by relying on their numerical advantage. With the emergence of a tribulation-crossing realm demon sage. It means that the human race's human sea tactic is no longer useful. Based on the current situation, only a Mahayana realm powerhouse can suppress the green python great sage. Elder Han, I don't know if you have the confidence this time. If not, let's prepare to flee overseas early. Our Jade Pure sect. No need. These words from Hanju shocked everyone present. Let all the disciples who are out come back. This time, there's no need to flee. Holy shit, you mean you can deal with it? Chick and Sun Chanen thought their master had a plan, but Li Qingzi thought Hanju was joking. We should hurry and seek refuge with the ancestor. He's been beaten up a lot lately too. Seek refuge with him? Hanju asked. Huh, often? How does Elder Han know that the ancestor is often beaten? I can deduce it. Besides, can we avoid the green python great sage's demon army along the way? Just then, the long-lost system message came again. You have the following choices. 1. Agree with the sect leader and flee with the Jade Pure sect, and you can obtain a spiritual treasure. 2. Refuse the sect leader and choose to stay and wait for the green python great sage, and you can obtain a Heaven's Tao spirit stone. Li Qingzi pondered for a long time. Indeed, there is no way to avoid the demon army. All the forces surrounding Great Swallow are fighting bitterly with the demon army. No matter where we go, we will encounter demons. Even if they don't belong to the green python great sage, they will also turn against us and attack us. Now there is basically no place that is peaceful. Chick and Sun Chanen also shook their heads. Anyway, we will encounter the demon army wherever we go, so we might as well stay and fight. Call all the disciples to stay in the sect and not go out. Those who are still outside must rush back to the sect as soon as possible. I don't want to go out and save people everywhere when the green python's army is at our doorstep. Li Qingzi thought to himself, could it be that Elder Han really has the confidence? After all, he never fights an unprepared battle. Okay, I will go and give orders according to your instructions. Now we just need to wait here. When the time comes, we will first kill the invading green python great sage, and the remaining demon kings will naturally be scared out of their wits. Hanju didn't care about the fate of other sects in the cultivation world. As long as the Jade Pure sect still exists, what does it matter if the world is destroyed? Hanju didn't want to be a savior. Besides, the green python great sage couldn't possibly slaughter the entire human race. Hanju had encountered more than one Mahayana realm cultivator. At this time, the system reward arrived. You refused the sect leader and chose to stay. You obtained a Heaven's Tao spirit stone. With the name of Heaven's Tao, it must not be an ordinary object. Indeed, what an exquisite brick. Seeing their master take out a brick out of thin air, Chick and Sun Chanen were puzzled. Could it be that master wants to use a brick to deal with the green python great sage? The Heaven's Tao spirit stone contains the power of Heaven's Tao. When integrated with a magic weapon, it can upgrade the magic weapon by 1 grade. Being able to upgrade the grade of magic weapons, this thing is really awesome. Which one should I integrate it with? The previous curse on the green python great sage seemed to have no effect. Even if it is upgraded by 1 realm, it's not realistic to curse it to death. Not to mention the power. I can't even figure out whether there is a delay in the curse now. He could arrive at the doorstep of the Jade Pure sect at any time. It's better to increase the lethality first. It would be best if it could instantly kill him after the enhancement. No more gambling. Primordial Judgment Sword. Integrate. However, the system actually sent out an alarm prompt. The Primordial Judgment Sword cannot be upgraded by the Heaven's Tao Spirit Stone. Please choose another magic weapon. What? It can't be enhanced by the power of Heaven's Tao. Just now, Hanju couldn't detect this Spirit Stone with his spiritual sense, most likely due to the effect of Heaven's Tao power. Anything that touches Heaven's Tao is extraordinary. The Primordial Judgment Sword was his innate magic weapon. Although it couldn't exert power beyond his current realm, its upper limit was still unknown. From this, Hanju inferred that the Primordial should be higher than Heaven's Tao. Let's keep the Heaven's Tao Spirit Stone for now. Seeing Hanju rummaging around and finally throwing away the brick, Chick and Sun Chanen said, Master finally understands that a brick can't solve the problem. Hanju planned to contemplate the way of the sword again. I wonder if that person is still waiting in the way of the sword river. After Hanju's spiritual sense entered the way of the sword river, the sky of the 10 provinces continent once again showed anomalies. Purple light covered the sky and sun, and even the earth was dyed purple. Everyone knew that someone had comprehended the ancient way of the sword again. Hanju's consciousness had already entered the way of the sword river, and he didn't know how many steps he could take today. Just as he was about to take a step, a figure suddenly appeared. Why is it you again? The figure said furiously. Hanju was even more speechless. This guy has a problem, guarding here day and night. Hanju suppressed his anger and said humbly, Senior, I have encountered a life and death enemy. Can you let me take one more step? Just one step? The figure said impatiently. You have already comprehended the Tai divine ability and sword intent. Who in the mortal world can you not defeat? Unless there is a large gap in realm between you and your opponent, right? Hanju inhaled and said, Junior indeed encountered an enemy whose realm far exceeds mine. I originally wanted to visit Senior after ascending and thank Senior for the previous reminder. Now it seems I may die on the path of cultivation. What a pity. The figure fell silent. After a while, the figure slowly said, Then you may go ahead. This is your choice. Don't blame me for not not warning you of the consequences. With that, he stepped aside. Hanju's consciousness followed and advanced. At this point, he could only fight with his back against the wall. He wanted to see if he could comprehend the three pure worlds' extermination to be stronger. The further he walked, the stronger he could become. Taking a step forward, Hanju suddenly felt a terrifying pressure, as if carrying hundreds of chicks on his back, almost making him gasp for breath. Is this the power beyond Tai? Hanju gritted his teeth and persisted. I must not stop here. 2 steps. The figure remained silent, watching Hanju move forward in pain. Hanju was in so much pain that his consciousness became blurred, and he barely took 3 steps. No wonder Senior didn't let me advance last time. Just 1 step and my soul body is on the verge of collapse. As soon as he finished speaking, a hand stretched out from the front and gently pushed on his chest. Immediately, he felt the world spinning, and his consciousness fell from the way of the Sword River. Young one, if there is a next time, I will not save you again. The figure's cold snort entered Hanju's ears. You have such comprehension before reaching the tribulation crossing realm, which is truly rare. I look forward to your future achievements. Go back. Chick and Sun Chanen saw that Hanju had been motionless for a while. Could it be that Master doesn't have the confidence? Before the words fell, a violent explosion suddenly occurred, and a beam of light shot straight into the sky. Even the heaven-earth grass in the cave felt the anomaly. In an instant, a terrifying aura permeated the ascetic immortal mountain. Hanju's consciousness followed and returned to his physical body. He quickly circulated his energy to stabilize his primordial spirit. After returning from the way of the Sword River, Hanju immediately started a simulated trial and fought against Xianzhishir. Just by walking 3 more steps forward, Hanju felt that the 3 pure worlds' extermination had been significantly enhanced. Hanju waved his sword, and millions of sword shadows converged and pointed at Xianzhishir. Before the simulated opponent could react, she was directly annihilated along with his soul. At this time, the system also sent a prompt. Simulated battle ended. Time taken 2 seconds. Hanju smiled with satisfaction. It's also an instant kill, but this time it's obviously faster and more thorough. He had more confidence in instantly killing the green python great sage. Although he had confidence, Hanju still didn't dare to be careless. He took out the Book of Misfortune and continued to curse the green python great sage. At this time, in the woods not far from the Jade Pure Sect, a man covered in wounds fled into the territory of Great Swallow through a teleportation formation. This person was none other than Yang Tiandong, but Doggy couldn't escape back with him. I couldn't bring back Doggy. How am I going to explain it to Master? At this moment, a black mist appeared behind Yang Tiandong. Why don't you keep running? Ever since successfully crossing the tribulation, the black mist incarnation of the green python great sage had been following Yang Tiandong, and he couldn't shake it off no matter where he ran. No matter where you run, this sage will catch you. At that time, I will skin you and pull out your tendons, slice you into sashimi piece by piece. I will let you know what it means to be in utter despair in the human world. With that, the black mist dissipated. Yang Tiandong observed the surroundings and finally felt a sense of familiarity. Should I return to the Jade Pure Sect or not? Yang Tiandong wasn't worried about himself, but he was afraid of implicating Hanju. In these years, he had been in a state of serious injury, and it was useless no matter where he fled. Initially, he formed an alliance with more than 300 demon kings, imagining that they could work together to deal with the green python great sage. Who knew that in the end, he still implicated many demon kings, who were all killed by the green python great sage one by one, and he himself didn't know whether it was the blessing of luck, but he was able to escape the pursuit and killing every time. Looking back on his years of efforts, Yang Tiandong felt like it was a joke. All the demon kings from various places had died. If I go back to the Jade Pure Sect now, will it bring disaster to Master and the others? Forget it. I can't bring disaster to Master. This is the only thing I can do for Master. I have no face to face the elders. Just as Yang Tiandong was about to turn around and leave, a familiar voice came. You've already reached the doorstep of home, and you're still not coming back? Yang Tiandong was stunned. It was Master. Do you still want to go out and fool around? Could it be that you really want to be a son to the green python great sage? Yang Tiandong suddenly wanted to cry. He knelt down with a thud. Master, your disciple knows his mistake. Yang Tiandong knew that Master still cared about him, but back then, he cried and shouted, wanting to go out and make a name for himself. At that time, Hanju told him not to go out, but he refused to listen. Now, it's great. He only thought of coming back when he was on the verge of death. Your disciple shouldn't have disobeyed your words back then. The outside world is too terrifying. Stop crying. Go down the mountain and kowtow for 5 years, shouting 1,000 times a day that you were wrong. This scene was seen by the bird demons who had pursued him. The stone tablet says Great Swallow Jade Pure Sect. Hurry back and tell His Holiness. At this moment, a flash of golden light was seen on the ascetic immortal mountain, and a sword energy pierced through the 2 bird demons, reducing them to pulp. Entering the territory of the Jade Pure Sect, Hanju naturally received a system prompt. I didn't expect the 2 little demons who came to deliver the message to be at the nascent soul realm. Being able to fly here means that the green python's army is not far from here. It's time to make some preparations for the great battle. In the following period of time, the Jade Pure Sect sect was a scene of busyness, but Hanju was still cultivating as usual and being leisurely. The disciples of the Jade Pure sect returned to the sect one after another, and Morongchi also came back. After fishing and catching shrimp every day, Chick and Sun Chanen would come and take a look at Yang Tiandong, who was kneeling at the foot of the mountain. Morongchi had never seen Yang Tiandong before, so he also came over to join in the fun. He saw someone kowtowing and chanting, "Your disciple knows his mistake," over and over again at the foot of the ascetic immortal mountain. Morongchi asked Sun Chang'an, "Master, what mistake did this junior brother make to be punished by Master to kneel here?" Sun Chang'an hurriedly covered his mouth. "Don't talk nonsense. He's your senior uncle." "What? Senior uncle? But why is he only at the nascent soul stage?" Chick also looked at him with disdain. "It seems that doggy hanging out with him shouldn't be that strong either. Long time no see. How does it feel to mix outside? Have you ever encountered my doggy?" Fat Chicken deliberately asked, just wanting to see Yang Tiandong make a fool of himself. Yang Tiandong almost couldn't recognize Chick. This heavy aura and physique. "Chick, is that you? How did you become so fat? With your cultivation, you still dare to speak disrespectfully. Go feed the fish for Chicken Lord." During the day, Yang Tiandong would kneel and kowtow to admit his mistake, and at night, he would eat, drink, and have fun with Chick and Sun Chang'an. Yang Tiandong was very shocked by the cultivation of Sun Chang'an and Morongchi. Even his master's grand disciple was about to break through to the nascent soul realm. Yang Tiandong asked doubtfully, "You guys reached this realm just by ascetic cultivation under master's guidance, without ever tempering yourselves outside?" Sun Chang'an said that the spiritual power here far surpassed the outside world, so there was no need to go out and take risks. Yang Tiandong became hysterical. "What's the point of tempering outside all these years? As the eldest senior brother, I dragged everyone down. My strength didn't improve, but I recognized quite a few fathers. I, Yang Tiandong, am simply a disgrace to the sect. However, going out to temper myself was not entirely fruitless. Doggy is now at the spirit transformation realm. Chick, oh Chick, when it comes back, it will definitely challenge you." Chick didn't bother with him and just let out a contemptuous "oh." Yang Tiandong continued to babble, "We're from the same sect, so Doggy will definitely hold back when sparring." Morongchi felt very awkward. He transmitted his voice to Sun Chang'an. "Master, should we tell him about Chicken Lord's cultivation?" Sun Chang'an said, "Forget it. Let him be happy. Don't let his Dao heart be damaged." Hanju listened to their conversation on the mountain and learned that chaotic heavenly dog was only at the spirit transformation stage. He couldn't help but feel speechless. "You guys are really daring. A nascent soul and a spirit transformation conspiring to assassinate the Green Python Great Sage. No wonder the Green Python Great Sage is so angry. Being rebelled against by ants is simply a great humiliation." Just then, Li Qingzi came to visit in a hurry, saying anxiously, "Elder Han, this is bad. Green Python Great Sage has already brought the demon army to kill into Great Swallow. According to the disciples' report, his target is your disciple Yang Tiandong." Li Qingzi recommended Yang Tiandong to Hanju. Yang Tiandong had even helped Jade Pure sect establish ties with Diansu Demon King before, which could be considered a great merit, so now expelling him was impossible. Doing so would discourage people all over the world. "Let him come." "Have all the disciples returned?" Hanju asked indifferently. Li Qingzi assured Hanju, "Those below nascent soul have all hidden inside. The secret hall has been sealed. I've had people destroy the other teleportation entrances. From now on, it can only be entered from Jade Pure sect." Li Qingzi cautiously asked, "So we're just going to wait like this?" Hanju paused. "To be honest, I'm not fully confident either. Since we've already made the worst plans, you should also leave a way out." "I'll take a gamble." Li Qingzi asked again, "If you really can't beat him, can you retreat safely?" Hanju said, "I only have 70% confidence." Li Qingzi took out a jade tablet and handed it to Hanju. "Using this can quickly teleport to the myriad demon realm. If you really can't beat him, hurry and come. Also, the primordial spirits of our more than 300 elders are all in this tablet. Our lives are in your hands." Hanju told Li Qingzi not to worry. "If I really can't beat him, I will take you and run away together." Seeing this, Li Qingzi could only suppress the unease and panic in his heart, bid farewell and leave. In the northern part of Great Swallow, it was icy and snowy. Countless demons gathered on Diansu Demon King's territory. Green Python Great Sage, exuding a terrifying pressure all over his body, looked down at Diansu Demon King at his feet and laughed hideously. "Do you submit or not?" Diansu Demon King, who had transformed into human form, looked extremely miserable at this moment. He was covered in blood and had no intact skin, but he still stubbornly said he wouldn't submit. "What Great Sage? You're just a fart." Green Python Great Sage took out a bone staff and pointed it at Diansu Demon King's head. "Since you're so stubborn, say your last words. Don't implicate my family. I only hope you treat my 3 beautiful wives well, love them and dote on them. Forget it. Who wants your rotten thing?" Saying that, Green Python Great Sage raised the bone staff and was about to smash down. With a loud bang, Green Python Great Sage actually struck Askew. Green Python Great Sage was seen frowning, holding his waist. His whole body was uncomfortable and he became irritable. "Damn little rat is cursing this sage again." Hearing this, Diansu Demon King couldn't help but think of his own experience. It seems Suppose this guy is also targeted by an immortal, then I'll bow my head first. Anyway, he won't live long. Tiansu Demon King hurriedly cupped his hands and softened. I am willing to submit to you. Green Python Great Sage snorted coldly and gestured for his subordinates to release Tiansu Demon King's men. Green Python Great Sage waved his right hand, and flying snow gathered, condensing into a mirror. The mirror reflected a human face. This sage asks you, do you recognize this half-human, half-demon? Tiansu Demon King couldn't help but be startled. Isn't this my adopted son Yang Tiandong? Could it be that he offended you? Green Python Great Sage's snake eyes instantly turned cold. With a boom, Green Python Great Sage smashed Tiansu Demon King's head with one strike of his staff. Blood splattered everywhere, scaring all the demons to shudder. Green Python Great Sage laughed coldly. Another adopted son. What a good adopted son. Tiansu Demon King's primordial spirit floated out from his body and cried out in horror. Green Python Great Sage, what do you want to do? I have already agreed to submit. Yang Tiandong offending you was not something I assigned. He also took this sage as his adopted father and organized demon kings to rebel. This sage doesn't destroy your primordial spirit. From now on, you will have no more ties with Yang Tiandong. When this sage captures Yang Tiandong, if you dare say a word, this sage will definitely make it impossible for you to reincarnate. Green Python Great Sage said with a hideous face and a cold voice. All demon kings listen to orders. Now go kill Jade Pure Sect. Leave no one alive. In front of the stone tablet at the foot of ascetic Immortal Mountain, Yang Tiandong was still kowtowing with a bang. The sound of thunder suddenly woke up the dazed Yang Tiandong. He looked up and saw rolling dark clouds sweeping in. That was the dark clouds brought by demonic energy. The demonic energy at the end of the world devoured the mountains and rivers, like an abyss coming, shocking to the core. This sage thought you would run somewhere else. I didn't expect you to run to such a small sect to hide. Today, this sage will eat all the people here and see where else you can run. It's him. Green Python Great Sage is here. Green Python Great Sage's demon army finally killed into Jade Pure Sect's territory. The protective sect formations of the various peaks of Jade Pure Sect were immediately activated. Before the demon army arrived, the demonic energy came first. Like waves, it surged from all directions, as if it would drown Jade Pure Sect. Li Qingzi asked Xiao Yao and Lu Bumi, can you be a match for Green Python Great Sage? Sect leaderly, you really think too highly of us. What did God-slaying elder say? Li Qingzi was sweating profusely on his forehead. God-slaying elder said to wait a little longer. At this time, Yang Tiandong was rushing up the mountain. Master, Green Python Great Sage is here. We should quickly escape. Don't panic. You stay with Chick and the others. Later, teleport to the Myriad Demon Realm. The Jade Tablet will be kept by Morong Chi. It must not be lost. Heaven Earth Grass cried out, Master, don't abandon me. Hanju actually showed a smile in this situation. Don't worry, nothing will happen. Wait a little longer. Hanju looked into the distance. Yang Tiandong looked at Hanju in disbelief. Could it be that Master had become so powerful that he no longer feared Green Python Great Sage? He understood Hanju. If he wasn't 100% confident, he definitely wouldn't be so calm. Little did he know, Hanju was desperately using the simulation trial to detect within Jade Pure Sect's territory. However, Green Python Great Sage was not detected within 100 miles. At this time, inside the rolling demonic clouds were countless hideous demons, each more ferocious than the last. They looked at Jade Pure Sect with eyes as if staring at an amusement park filled with food. Even under the constant attacks of the protective sect formation, large batches of demon soldiers were continuously killed, but the subsequent demon soldiers still poured in like a flood. Li Qingzi led the elders to tenaciously resist, determined to persevere until the last moment. You ants trying to stop a chariot. Suddenly, a voice that sounded like a heavenly god resounded throughout Jade Pure Sect. Everyone was shocked. It was Green Python Great Sage's voice. Then, a huge mass of spiritual energy directly appeared inside the protective sect formation, instantly shattering it and injuring all the elders and disciples maintaining the formation. Even Shishuan Fairy showed a look of despair at this moment. Our front line is actually so fragile. I'm afraid we can't leave. Although the primordial spirits are all with Hanju and still have a chance to be resurrected, the prerequisite is that Hanju can escape this catastrophe. A group of ants, the strongest is only 9th layer of Fusion Void Realm? What a joke. The bastard is not at the front line. Let this sage see where he's hiding. Green Python Great Sage used his spiritual sense to skin Jade Pure Sect, searching for the hiding place of that rebel son Yang Tiandong. Green Python Great Sage laughed coldly. Found you. This time, where else can you run? Hoping this little sect can save you. Yang Tiandong was dumbfounded, as if waiting for his final fate. Hanju took out the primordial judgment sword and pointed it in the direction where Green Python Great Sage's spiritual sense was coming from. You all back off. The system didn't detect him, but his spiritual sense discovered us. Tribulation Crossing Realm is indeed stronger than expected. The direction of the spiritual sense has been locked. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. Hanju was weighing when to make his move. He wanted to kill Green Python Great Sage when he was off guard. Just then, Green Python Great Sage's spiritual sense also discovered Hanju. Only foundation established establishment realm 9th layer with a body full of magic treasures. What a weak chicken sect. Then his gaze fell on Chick. What a fat chicken. The cultivation is not bad. It can be considered to be captured as a concubine. Next, his gaze fell on the Fusang tree. How is this possible? How could such a divine tree be here? Green Python Great Sage was shocked. He remembered his master had mentioned this tree before. If this tree is offered to master, I might be able to stay there. Saying that, Green Python Great Sage revealed his true form. That figure was like an immortal god standing between heaven and earth. The people of Jade Pure Sect could only silently pray. At this moment, Hanju activated 3 Pure Worlds Extermination, and countless sword images were ready to be shot towards Green Python Great Sage's direction. At this moment, time seemed to stand still. They could no longer hear any sound. Everyone was staring intently at Green Python Great Sage. Hanju was still desperately using the system to search, waiting for Green Python Great Sage to enter his detection range. A little closer. Green Python Great Sage laughed wantonly. Let you feel this sage's power. He suddenly leaped up. An extremely violent pressure descended from the sky. Even the mountains of Jade Pure Sect were shaking. In an instant, the system finally sent a notification. Green Python Great Sage, Tribulation Crossing Realm 1st Layer, newly advanced demon saint of the demon race. Finally here, Hanju immediately conducted a simulation trial. In a breath's time, Hanju suddenly swung out the primordial judgment sword. The flood of sword energy almost blew everyone away. Hanju's eyes were resolute, looking towards Green Python Great Sage. All of this happened within this one breath. The flood of sword images shot out from Hanju's body, all pointing at Green Python Great Sage. Green Python Great Sage only saw a flash of golden light on ascetic immortal mountain. He immediately used silent heavenly mirror armor to reflect countless sword images, dense like a flood of fish crossing a river, unstoppable momentum to pierce mountains and break through rocks. That sword image broke through the armor, accompanied by a deafening boom. The sword light illuminated heaven and earth. Green Python Great Sage was directly crushed and killed by the flood of sword images. Both demon and soul, form and spirit were destroyed, not even given a chance to reincarnate. Everyone was dumbfounded, their mouths agape. Hanju held the primordial judgment sword, turned the blade, and said coldly, "It's not over yet." The dust settled. Half of Green Python Great Sage's corpse swayed in the wind. The demonic energy was completely gone. The demon monsters instantly collapsed. How is this possible? Jade Pure Sect was hiding some big shot. How could Green Python Great Sage die so quickly? All the demons were so scared they turned and fled. At this time, Hanju's voice resounded throughout Jade Pure Sect. Bullying my sect, injuring my human race, and still want to leave? After saying that, Hanju swung the primordial judgment sword downward. Countless marks appeared on the demons all over the field. The demons only felt a burning sensation all over their bodies. The people of Jade Pure Sect were also puzzled. Only Li Qingzi knew that Hanju was going to cut off the root. Hanju pointed his sword at the vault of heaven again. The millions of sword images of 3 Pure Worlds Extermination shot and killed in different directions. The sword energy continuously condensed into sword images. The demons were pierced through their bodies one by one. Almost instantly, blood blossomed in the sky in all directions of Jade Pure Sect, like fireworks blooming, spectacularly grand. Without the pressure of Green Python Great Sage, the sky full of blood blossoms looked so beautiful. At this time, Yen Su Demon King, who only had his primordial spirit left, did not dare to move, for fear of being wiped out as a demon soldier. Yen Su Demon King stared blankly at Green Python Great Sage's corpse. A tribulation crossing realm demon lord is actually so fragile. It turns out that Immortal was hiding in Jade Pure Sect. No wonder after going to Jade Pure Sect, the curse disappeared. It seems that the curse that Green Python Great Sage felt actually came from that Immortal. Unfortunately, this guy insisted on rampaging and ended up dead. Yen Su Demon King secretly vowed if there is a chance, he still wants to visit Jade Pure Sect. Even if he becomes a mount for that Immortal, it's not a problem. At this time, Hanju received another system notification. You killed a tribulation crossing realm existence for the first time and obtained a Heaven's Tao Spirit Stone. Hanju frowned. Why is it this brick again? Chick was overjoyed. This was not the first time a seemingly invincible powerhouse had come to Jade Pure Sect and was directly killed by Hanju in seconds. Sun Chanan and Morongqi also admired Hanju to the extreme, especially Morongqi. Hanju was still a bit unfamiliar to him. He had always been curious about his Grandmaster's cultivation. Today he finally saw it. His whole person was dumbfounded. There was also Yang Tiandong. He was the clearest about how strong Green Python Great Sage was. In his heart, the truly invincible existence was Green Python Great Sage. This demon saint who brought Yang Tiandong endless despair and fear was killed in seconds by his master. Myriad emotions gathered in Yang Tiandong's heart, finally turning into endless guilt. It turned out that the strongest person had always been by his side, but he had been chasing illusory power all over the world. Yang Tiandong smiled bitterly, not even daring to look at Hanju. When Hanju passed by Yang Tiandong, he asked coldly, "Why are you still standing here? Have you finished kowtowing today?" Yang Tiandong turned around and knelt down to Hanju, heavily kowtowing 3 3 times. Then he hurriedly ran down the mountain. Yes, master, from now on, if you dare to run out again without my consent, the bond between us as master and disciple will be severed. I will no longer intervene in your life and death. At this time, at the foot of the mountain, the disciples of Jade Pure Sect were cleaning up the battlefield. After today's battle, God-slaying elder once again ascended to the altar in the hearts of Jade Pure Sect's cultivators. Hanju walked towards that bone staff magic weapon of Green Python Great Sage. Even his ultimate move could not destroy it. What was the origin of this thing? This thing could block the curse of the Book of Misfortune. Its grade was probably above the Book of Misfortune. Hanju stepped forward to touch it and carefully probed his spiritual sense into it. Who knew there was actually space inside this bone staff, and there was another aura in this space. Just then, the remnant soul suddenly opened its eyes and shouted angrily, "What do you want to do?" It scared Hanju so much that his eyelids jumped. He retracted his spiritual sense. "No, I can't keep it. It's better to directly destroy it. If this remnant soul still has a true body, it might find its way here relying on the remnant soul." Hanju immediately used 6 paths soul absorption to absorb the remnant soul inside. The huge bone staff suddenly shrank. Hanju only felt that the kind of pressure he had just felt. He had seen it in the way of the Sword River. At this time, the system sent another notification. Extinction Taoist has developed a grudge against you because you killed his demon pet and remnant soul that he left in the mortal world. He is full of hatred towards you and will definitely cause trouble for you when you ascend. Scattered Immortal Realm 8th layer. When I ascend, that means he can't come down to find me. Hanju was first scared, then breathed a sigh of relief, secretly thinking proudly, "I'll wait until I have the cultivation to kill you before ascending. What can you do to me then?" Hanju thought for a moment. This is also fortunate. The upper realm is so strong, can't descend to the mortal world. Was it negotiated or restricted? In other words, after ascending, you can never come back again. The question is, after ascending, can I still cultivate with peace of mind like now? My enemies are basically all in the upper realm. It's very unwise to ascend prematurely now. If it can be delayed, then delay it. Let's see what you can do to me then. Western Abyss Province also suffered the rampage of Green Python Great Sage, but True Martial Sect luckily escaped, mainly because Green Python Great Sage didn't have time to deal with them before being attracted by Yang Tiandong. The high-level figures of True Martial Sect gathered in a grand hall. Everyone was shocked upon hearing the news of Green Python Great Sage's demise. Shangwan Choujian smiled bitterly. What a Jade Pure Sect. What a god-slaying elder. Huang Jihao stood beside Shangwan Choujian. He had now become a core disciple of True Martial Sect. Everyone looked at Shangwan Choujian. One of the elders asked, "Teaching elder, you went to Great Swallow's Jade Pure Sect before. Is Jade Pure Sect really that powerful?" Shangwan Choujian smiled bitterly. "To be honest, I went to challenge Jade Pure Sect's god-slaying elder and was defeated by him with one sword. I have always been too embarrassed to mention this past event." Everyone's jaws dropped. Then how outrageous must he be? "You are the strongest combat power in the entire sect," Shangwan Choujian said lightly. "Now it seems that being defeated by god-slaying elder is not a disgrace, but rather my honor. After all, I survived under his sword. After this matter, Jade Pure Sect will be the holy land of Great Swallow's cultivation world, and even the holy land of the 10 continents and 9 dynasties. Our True Martial Sect must go to establish ties with them as soon as possible." Huang Jihao said. Disciple is willing to immediately go to Jade Pure Sect to represent True Martial Sect and thank Jade Pure Sect on behalf of Western Abyss Province. Shangwan Choujian instructed. "Not only that, we also need to prepare a big gift." An elder who didn't understand asked. Our True Martial Sect also suffered heavy losses. At this time, going to curry favor with Jade Pure Sect. How will the disciples in the sect view us? Shangwan Choujian glared at him and shouted. "Wake up, what are you thinking? Master, you, Jade Pure Sect saved the people of the world. If we don't go to thank them, how will the people of the world view us? You see, in the future, Jade Pure Sect will definitely be the holy land that cultivators all over the world look up to. If we are a step slower, other sects will go first." His words made the elders ponder. When Jade Pure Sect becomes powerful in the future, there will definitely be sects that will be arrogant by relying on them. So the earlier we go, the more benefits we will gain. Indeed, this opportunity cannot be missed. Establishing ties with Jade Pure Sect will only bring many benefits. So with everyone's agreement, True Martial Sect decided to send Huang Jihao to Jade Pure Sect immediately. On the other side, in 9 Dragons Sect, since being attacked by Green Python Great Sage, 9 Dragons Sect had already split into 4 or 5 factions internally, and quite a few people had even fled. Old Huang looked at the ruins and sighed. Seniors are seniors. Even Green Python Great Sage is no match for them. Otherwise, we would have to keep taking refuge. Cultivators should originally cultivate for longevity. The so-called sect is only for the sake of passing down the teachings. When a sect exists for the sake of power, how is it different from a gang in the mortal world? At this time, a disciple came to report. After the elders count, our 9 Dragons Sect had reached 70,000 people at its peak. Now there are only 3,000 people left. More than 90% of the buildings are destroyed, and the books and magic treasures have been looted clean. Fortunately, the 9 Dragons true scripture was buried in a mechanism and was not discovered by those demon monsters. Old Huang sighed that many years of operation were gone just like that. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that there was no more Nine Dragons sect in this world. The disciple consoled Old Huang. As long as the root of the secret teachings remains, Nine Dragons sect will definitely be able to relive its former glory. Old Huang said helplessly, "We do have the capital, but you also know how many sects covet our secret techniques. In this situation, what do we use to protect the inheritance?" As he was talking, Huang Zuntian suddenly flew up and suspended himself in midair above Nine Dragons sect. Using a voice that penetrated heaven and earth, he said, "All disciples and elders of Nine Dragons sect listen to orders. I believe everyone is very clear about the current situation. Our sect's disciples all need a place of shelter. The surrounding forces are eyeing us like tigers. Rebuilding the sect will definitely be fraught with difficulties and will inevitably increase unnecessary sacrifices. Rather than being annexed by them, it's better to find a backer to develop ourselves. So I have decided that everyone will go to Jade Pure Sect today, using the Nine Dragons True Scripture as a congratulatory gift to surrender to Jade Pure Sect." As soon as these words came out, all the disciples' eyes were dazed. Has the sect leader gone mad? How can the secret treasure be casually given to others? Huang Zuntian explained, "Nine Dragons sect has only changed the form of its existence. It's always better than being completely annihilated. Moreover, Jade Pure Sect supports the principle of seeking common ground while reserving differences. After we merge, we will still have control over the secret techniques. Blood Flame Heavenly Gate is a very good example." The disciples discussed among themselves. Indeed, Blood Flame Heavenly Gate was doing quite well now. Huang Zuntian continued to persuade the sect disciples, relying on the strength of others to protect our inheritance. "When you become powerful, you can leave Jade Pure Sect then." When he said this, the clever disciples heard that the sect leader did not intend to go together. Old Huang looked at the distant mountains. "This time I'm going to find a higher mountain, like the senior, to cultivate the most ascetic immortality. If Jade Pure Sect doesn't accept you, you can go find God-slaying Elder and report Huang Zuntian's name. God-slaying Elder will understand." Having said that, Huang Zuntian's figure disappeared into the sky, leaving a group of sect disciples at a loss. 8 years after the sword slew the demon saint, Jade Pure Sect's reputation in the cultivation world had already risen like the sun, bustling with activity all day long. The righteous and demonic paths both came to pay respect, and even the Emperor of Great Swallow Dynasty came. The Emperor built a stele and wrote a biography for God-slaying Elder, revering Jade Pure Sect as the national faith. From then on, Jade Pure Sect was officially renamed Jade Pure Holy Sect. One day, Li Qingzi came to visit Hanju. Facing Elder Han again, he appeared very restrained. In these years, the sect's prosperity has already become the national faith, already unparalleled in prestige. Even Nine Dragons sect wants to join us. I heard it was Wei Yuan who told them to come. This really puzzled Hanju. Is Old Huang going to give up? In addition, Li Qingzi had already sent a message to the Grand Master, saying that in a few years, the Grand Master would return to take up the position of sect leader again. Hanju asked Li Qingzi why, and Li Qingzi directly said, "I feel that I don't have much time left, so I plan to wholeheartedly cultivate to fight for my own life." Although Hanju had stayed in Jade Pure Sect for hundreds of years, he didn't have many acquaintances, and could even say they could be counted on one hand. Hanju said to Li Qingzi, "After the position of sect leader is handed over, you can move to ascetic Immortal Mountain to cultivate. As for where you want to open up your cave residence, it's up to you." Having obtained Hanju's consent, Li Qingzi was extremely happy. After chatting a few more words, he left. "I hope you can also go a little further on the path of cultivation." After Li Qingzi left, Hanju thought of Chan Yuer, who had left with 9 Cauldron Sage. In the several crises over the years, she had never used the puppet he gave her. Under the same moonlight, Chan Yuer was also thinking of Hanju. "The night is deep. Junior brother, are you still well?" Hanju used the heavenly puppet to transmit sound to her for the first time. "Senior sister, are you there?" Chan Yuer was overjoyed to hear his voice. "Junior brother, is that you? It turns out you can talk to me through the puppet. Why didn't you say there was this function earlier? Do you know how much I missed you? In the first few years, I called out to you every day. Why didn't you answer? Could it be that you forgot about me because you have other cultivation partners?" Chan Yuer fired a barrage of questions, not giving Hanju a chance to answer at all. The spiritual power stored in the heavenly puppet is limited. If it's used up, it can't protect you anymore, so it has to be used sparingly. Hearing that Hanju had been protecting her all along, Chan Yuer was extremely touched. Suddenly, she thought of something. "Wait, the puppet can sense me? Doesn't that mean I am seen naked by my junior brother every day without realizing it?" Hanju said helplessly, "The spiritual power of the puppet is not used like that. It only reacts when it detects that you are in danger." Before Hanju could finish speaking, Chan Yuer continued to expose herself. The things I did to the puppet every day, weren't they all sensed by you?" Chan Yuer was so embarrassed she wanted to die on the spot. On the other side, Hanju was puzzled. Chan Yuer was embarrassedly scratching the floor. Hanju hurriedly told her that the Grand Master would return to the sect in a few years. He advised Chan Yuer to come back with the Grand Master master at that time. Chan Yuer said she would never do that again. Junior brother, say something. No matter how Chan Yuer called out, Hanju just wouldn't respond anymore. Only the watery eyes of the puppet were still looking at her. Chan Yuer said coquettishly, bad junior brother, you care about me but refuse to say it. It's good to be so cold. Xing Hongxian and Maju are probably often neglected by junior brother too. When I go back, don't even think about escaping from my palm. Thinking of this, Chan Yuer smiled even more brilliantly. Just as Chan Yuer was indulging in self-admiration, a magnetic voice came from outside the cave. Junior sister Chan Yuer, there is a great opportunity. Recently, Red Dragon Immortal Island has a great expert giving a lecture. I have an invitation to enter the island. Chan Yuer gave a light O. Do you want to go? I can take you in. The man was waving a fan with a smug look, clearly a cultivator, but dressed like a scholar. The opportunity to attend a lecture is hard to come by. Maybe there will be unexpected gains. Chan Yuer said coldly, thank you for your kind intentions, senior brother. I won't go. I recently had some comprehension in my cultivation. I need to ponder it well. Seeing that Chan Yuer had no intention of going, the man could only take his leave in embarrassment. Then when I encounter good treasures on Red Dragon Immortal Island, I will definitely bring them back for you, junior sister. Chan Yuer glared at him. No need to trouble senior brother. I just want to wholeheartedly cultivate. I have no use for treasures. Having said that, Chan Yuer turned her head and returned to the cave residence. This man was a bootlicker and couldn't understand the goddess's words at all. Senior brother is leaving first. I'll come to see you again next time. Chan Yuer inwardly cursed him for not knowing what was good for him, coming to pester me every day instead of cultivating properly. When you come back next time, I will have already gone back to my handsome little junior brother. Isn't that right, little junior brother? Junior brother, come closer. Senior sister will be able to go back and cultivate with you soon. At this time, in a dark cave somewhere, several figures were sitting together. A black-robed old man spoke first. Green Python Great Sage is dead. What do you all think of this matter? It is said that he died at the hands of a sect called Jade Pure Sect in Great Swallow, the Jade Pure Holy Sect that is now in its prime. One figure was slightly startled, seeming to know Jade Pure Sect. Green Python Great Sage was my master's demon pet. Letting him slaughter the human race of the 10 continents and 9 dynasties was also our scheme. This grudge must be avenged. Also, although countless humans have died, the human race has not completely collapsed. We need to find another way. A burly bald man said in a deep voice. Green Python Great Sage was too arrogant. Relying on Extinction Taoist's magic weapon, he really thought he was invincible in the world. It's good that he's dead. Just relying on the demon race is still not enough. To crush the human cultivation world, we still need to rely on humans. I suggest supporting human demon cultivators to promote infighting among humans. A white-haired woman nodded in agreement. She wore red clothes and had fair skin, looking more like a female ghost, with a cold and bewitching smile. She turned to another person and said, Demon Lord, what do you think? Demon Lord nodded and said, I have no objection, but I have to remind you, I went to the underworld a while ago. The demon clan over there is getting a bit impatient. Everyone was startled. Demon Lord continued, you should be very clear about the consequences of not completing the task of reviving the demon clan as scheduled. How about this? Leave the matter of Jade Pure Sect to me, and the other plans to you. The black-robed old man replied, the background of that mysterious cultivator of Jade Pure Sect must be investigated. If he is not beneficial to our plan, Demon Lord, try your best to kill him. Xian Qingjun nodded expressionlessly. Hanju, we will finally meet. Without the passage of time and cultivation, a decade in the moral world is an era, and 5 years pass in a flash. 5 years later, Hanju finally broke through to the 9th layer of the Union Realm. He was rarely excited. The Tribulation Crossing Realm was just in sight. To celebrate, he habitually took out the Book of Misfortune. Vermilion Bird, Moiling, Extinction Taoist, everyone gets a share. None of the brothers can be left out. After that great battle back then, Hanju thought it over and finally fused the Heaven's Tao Spirit Stone into the Book of Misfortune. The Peerless Spiritual Treasure Book of Misfortune crossed 2 grades and was upgraded to a Tai grade spiritual treasure. Hanju cursed while checking his mail. Your enemy Moiling's Tao heart was damaged due to your curse. Encountered heart demons, and his cultivation greatly decreased. Hanju was overjoyed. Moiling's cultivation greatly decreased. How wonderful. Unfortunately, nothing has happened to Vermilion Bird and Extinction Taoist yet. Hanju noticed Xing Hongshuan's update. More than 10 years ago, Xing Hongshuan's favorability had already reached 6 stars, and she had a more substantial relationship with him, so she could be directly set as a cultivation partner. As for Maju, Hanju had not yet set her as a cultivation partner. After all, Xing Hongxian often presented him with treasures, while Maju would occasionally cause him trouble. In Hanju's heart, Xing Hongxian was naturally more important. This woman must have been infected by my immortal emperor descendant's luck. Her luck is really top-notch. Who knows what treasure she'll bring back to me next time. Tui, I, Hanju, am not someone who lives off women. Hanju asked Heaven Earth Grass what happened during its seclusion over the years. Heaven Earth Grass said that the sect leader came to look for Hanju this morning. Today was the sect leader's 900th birthday, and he wanted to invite Hanju Ju to give a lecture to the sect disciples at the inner sect city feast. Heaven Earth Grass continued, I guessed you definitely wouldn't want to go, so I directly refused. Master, am I awesome? Han Ju praised with a smile. Well done, I really don't want to go out and show my face, but directly refusing is indeed not good. Privately congratulating the sect leader is better. That's right, I'll take you guys to stroll around the inner sect. Han Ju walked out of the cave residence and found that Chick had left a note on the ground vine. Master, there is a grand feast in the sect recently. Seeing that you are still in seclusion, we won't wait for you. Yang Tiandong wrote, this group of unfilial disciples actually abandoned me and secretly ran to eat the feast first. I hope they didn't encounter that shop. At this time, Chick and the others had already come to the market in the inner sect to stroll around. A shop called Bite Big Chicken. Han Ju seemed to have mentioned it before. Not long after, Han Ju also took Heaven Earth Grass to leisurely stroll around the market. It was lively and bustling here, with many disciples. Han Ju also thought about whether he would meet a few more new people with extraordinary talent. Just as he was thinking, the system suddenly sent a notification. Han Ju thought he had found another innate destiny person, but this notification made him gasp. Xian Qing Jun, Mahayana Realm 8th layer, ranked as Demon Lord. Heaven Earth Grass was still excitedly looking at all kinds of lively scenes, but Han Ju couldn't be happy at all. That female demon was looking at him in the tea house. There was no way to hide from her. Han Ju planned to go over and meet her, wondering how this woman came, and not in a mortal body. Could it be that she discovered my affair with Xing Hongxian? I have always done a good job with my confidentiality measures. Whatever, a dignified 9th layer Union realm. How can I be so timid? Soon, Han Ju walked into the tea house where Xian Qingjun was. Madam Demon Lord, you've come from afar. I failed to welcome you. Xian Qingjun did not speak. Han Ju thought to himself, not good. She looks to be in a bad mood. This female demon's appearance was still the same as before. Not beautiful but not ugly. In summary plain but with temperament. At this point, it definitely couldn't be concealed. After all, Xian Shishir also knew I was the god-slaying elder. Maybe she had already communicated with Xian Qingjun. After a long time, Xian Qingjun still didn't say a word. Han Ju felt uneasy inside. Could it be that she was waiting for me to confess? She had been observing me. Could it be that I still had Xing Hongshuan's aura on me? It shouldn't be. Xing Hongxian always cleaned up very thoroughly every time. Suddenly, Xian Qingjun spoke. Some time ago, did you? Before she could finish, Han Ju immediately interrupted her. Rather than passively letting her expose it, it was better for me to take the initiative and be frank. Miss Xian, listen to my explanation. Things are not what you think. Xian Qingjun also suddenly released her pressure. No need to explain. What's done is done. You really dare to do it and take responsibility. You really are the man I fancy. Han Ju almost cried. Madam, I was wrong. Whether you want to kill me or flay me, it's up to you. But Xing and I. Han Ju hadn't finished confessing when Xian Qingjun interrupted him. You killed that green python, so you killed it. With me here, no one can do anything to you. Han Ju scared out a cold sweat. You're referring to the matter of green python great sage? Xian Qingjun suspiciously sipped some tea. Could it be that there are other things I don't know about? Han Ju hurriedly changed the topic. No, Miss Xian. Do you have any urgent business this time you came back? Xian Qingjun said coldly. I came to avenge green python great sage, but since it was you who killed him, then this matter shall be dropped. In the future, if others ask, you can't admit that it was your doing. As for the real culprit, just say he has already been killed by me. Did you hear clearly? That green python great sage couldn't have accomplices behind him, could he? Xian Qingjun continued. This demon indeed has a big background, but you don't need to worry. I will stop that guy. You can cultivate with peace of mind. Shit, Extinction Taoist still has connections in the mortal world. This is a big problem. Han Ju inwardly complained. Xian Qingjun walked to the window while speaking and caressed Han Ju's face. Since you were able to kill the green python, you must have reached the Tribulation Crossing realm. These elixirs are for those in the Tribulation Crossing realm. Take them for your use. Han Ju quickly stopped her. Actually, I've just reached the 9th level of the Union realm. Xian Qingjun was greatly shocked. With just the strength of the 8th level of the Union realm, you were able to kill a green python in the Tribulation Crossing realm? I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. The system prompted. Your cultivation partner Xian Qingjun's affection for you has increased, currently at 5 stars. Finally, Xian Qingjun smiled, constantly amazed. I didn't expect you to be a once-in-a-millennium genius, even more suitable to be my cultivation partner. Han Ju thought to himself, I've dodged a bullet, but it seems not entirely. Xian Qingjun laughed lightly. It seems a bit early now, easy to wear you out. You must cultivate well. I will wait for you to mature slowly. Mature? What the heck? Do you think I'm a little apple in an orchard? Han Ju quickly took out the green python great sage's magic weapon and handed it to Xian Qingjun. This is the magic weapon left by the green python great sage. I think it's not simple. Take it. The golden staff of extinction. Indeed, this treasure is extraordinary, just right for me to take back and convince those people that the true culprit is dead. Xian Qingjun took the golden staff. The world is about to change dramatically. You just need to cultivate well. As my cultivation partner, even if it's destroying heaven and earth, I can keep keep you safe? Hanju quickly asked. Miss Xian, could you tell me what's the situation with the dramatic changes in the world, and who wants to avenge the green python? Xian Qingjun stopped, glaring at him with the corner of her eye. This involves too much cause and effect. It's unknowable. As for the name of the person seeking revenge, it's Luo Qiuma. Hanju thought to himself, Luo Qiuma, ha, wait for me. Moiling, extinction Taoist, vermilion bird, Luo Qiuma, none of you can escape. Hanju returned to his cave dwelling and directly took out the Book of Misfortune, leaving half a page specifically for Luo Qiuma. 3 years later, Hanju raised his cultivation to the peak of the Union Realm, preparing to break through to the Tribulation Crossing Realm. He found a cave residence located halfway up the mountain. Li Qingzi had just moved in. Sect leader, do you know of any suitable place nearby for Tribulation Crossing? Preferably a place where no one will disturb within 100 miles. According to the records of the 6 realms of reincarnation technique, the duration of the heavenly tribulation at the Tribulation Crossing Realm is several times that of the Union Realm, and the power is also several times. If I go to the Myriad Demon Realm this time, I might destroy it. I must find a safe place to Tribulation Cross. Li Qingzi thought for a moment and said, there is indeed a place. It's a plain to the east of Jade Pure Holy Sect where it rains all year round and many poisonous insects and demon beasts grow. Cultivators rarely go there. I'll take you there. The two quickly left Ascetic Immortal Mountain. Under the cave residence, Morongqi asked strangely, why did Grand Master and Sect Leader go out? Chick pouted, he's obviously going to break through. Master's breakthrough speed at high realms is faster than you guys at low realms. Do you have any shame? Morongqi slightly pouted and didn't dare to respond, but Yang Tiandong was unconvinced. You have the face to talk about us? You haven't had any breakthroughs either. Chick shouted, my realm is higher than yours. So what? Your breakthroughs are slow. Even if my breakthroughs are slow, my realm is still higher than yours. Yang Tiandong was about to die of anger, crazily pounding on Chick's body. Master's chickens and dogs are all asking for a beating. However, Chick quite enjoyed this kind of scraping. Half a day later, Hanju and Li Qingzi arrived at a dark and damp plain. You go back first. My tribulation crossing will take time. Li Qingzi asked, do you need me to guard you? Hanju shook his head. The enemies who can interfere with my tribulation crossing, you can't stop them. His words made sense. Li Qingzi bid farewell and left. With the spiritual treasures on Hanju's body and his own strength, it was almost impossible for him to die in the heavenly tribulation unless someone took the opportunity to sneak attack him. 3 hours later, the heavenly tribulation arrived. The heavenly lightning of the tribulation crossing realm was indeed extraordinary. The entire plain was shrouded in thunderstorms. Hanju had no worries about this kind of scene, but he forgot to take off his Jade Pure Sect Taoist robe. This mortal object definitely could not withstand the heavenly tribulation. Just as the heavenly lightning struck down, the Taoist robe instantly turned to dust. The golden cicada mystical god robe was transparent, so now Hanju could only tribulation cross naked. Just like that, the heavenly tribulation bombarded crazily for a month. 1 month later, Hanju successfully tribulation crossed and stepped into the tribulation crossing realm. The system notification, you have successfully broken through to the tribulation crossing realm. You have the following choices. 1. Prepare to ascend. You can go to all 3 realms. You can obtain a spiritual treasure and a Heaven's Tao Spirit Stone. 2. Continue cultivating and strive for the Mahayana realm. You can obtain a spiritual treasure and a divine ability inheritance. Hanju inwardly cursed, can I choose new clothes? I don't want to fly back to Ascetic Immortal Mountain like this. Although the tribulation crossing realm can ascend, now is not the time. Vermilion Bird and Extinction Taoist, those 2 fellows, are still waiting for me in the heavens. Ascending now is purely thinking that my life is too long. Hanju silently chose to continue cultivating. System notification, congratulations on choosing to continue cultivating and strive for the Mahayana realm, temporarily not ascending. Obtained a spiritual treasure and a divine ability inheritance. Purple Gold Soft Armor, Tai Grade 8th Grade Defensive Spiritual Treasure, flexible and stretchable, extremely strong defense. Congratulations on obtaining the divine ability Sleeve World. The sleeve is the world, containing the dark and bright of all things. Hanju was overjoyed. This is simply a timely help. With this, I don't have to go back to the sect Bear asked. Moreover, it's a Tai Grade Defensive Spiritual Treasure. The system really understands me. The system also informed him of the method of ascension. Use one's own luck to move the Heaven's Tao, and the Heaven's Tao will help one transcend the mortal world and ascend to the upper realm. The method of reincarnation. Use the power of reincarnation to move the Heaven's Tao. Hanju looked at his cultivation in the attribute panel, which clearly stated 109,000 years of lifespan. Hanju was dumbfounded. I have never heard of a cultivator who can live for 100,000 years. The tribulation crossing realm is already so outrageous. When I break through to the Mahayana realm, won't I have the same lifespan as heaven? Looking out, the plain was charred black by the heavenly lightning, full of pits and holes everywhere. The rain also stopped. The heavenly tribulation not only changed the topography but also changed the climate here. Just then, Hanju suddenly sensed life. How can living beings below the tribulation crossing realm withstand the heavenly tribulation for a month? Hanju immediately searched with with his spiritual sense and soon captured a girl. Not only was this person uninjured, even the surrounding flowers, grass, and trees were unharmed. This person is definitely not simple. Hanju flashed in front of this person, scaring the girl pale. What do you intend by staying at my tribulation crossing location? Frightened by Hanju, the girl cried, pear blossoms with rain. The system suddenly sent a notification, detected innate destiny person. Do you want to check her background? Sure enough, she is not an ordinary person. Hanju checked the system panel, and a golden SSR card appeared in his eyes. Fang Liang, energy refining realm 3rd layer, child of heaven and earth, born with the luck of heaven and earth, protected by the luck of heaven and earth. Because the luck is too vast, the physical body and soul cannot bear it. Once breaking through to the golden core realm, the luck of heaven and earth will manifest. From then on, soaring to the sky, unstoppable. Hanju muttered to himself, child of heaven and earth, and a man? System, did you make a typo? You say such a cute girl is a man. Could he be a trap? Hanju stared at Fang Liang and sized him up. Fang Liang felt uncomfortable all over from his stare and stuttered. Junior had no intention of disturbing Senior's tribulation crossing. Junior apologizes to you. Hanju was speechless. This is the child of heaven and earth? Too much of a wimp, he said expressionlessly. With your weak cultivation, why did you come to this place? Fang Liang said in trepidation. To be honest, Junior is a rogue cultivator. I originally wanted to join Jade Pure Holy Sect and happened to pass by this place. Hanju thought to himself, this person's luck is indeed heaven-defying. He was trapped in the heavenly tribulation for so long, but as fine as if nothing happened. But how can this kind of personality live up to his identity as a child of heaven and earth? Forget it, it's better to form a good connection. Hanju threw out a god-slaying token and tossed it in front of Fang Liang. Seeing the words god-slaying, Fang Liang was startled. Isn't this the legendary god-slaying elder of Jade Pure Holy Sect? Fang Liang was about to kneel and pay respects to god-slaying elder, but Hanju threw down these words and disappeared on the spot. Meeting his fate. You can take out this token when entering Jade Pure Holy Sect. Although he was a child of heaven and earth, Hanju didn't value him much. By the time Fang Liang rampaged across the world, Hanju might have already become an immortal. Just as he returned to the cave residence, a line of words appeared in front of Hanju's eyes. Fang Liang has developed good feelings for you. Current favorability is 4 stars. Hanju thought to himself, when a person is at the bottom and receives unsolicited guidance from a powerful figure, they always tend to develop admiration. Seeing that Hanju had returned, Heaven Earth Grass was so excited. Master, you finally came back. I was worried to death not hearing from you for so long. Hanju had been gone for so long. It was worried about being abandoned. How has your cultivation been recently? Hanju asked. This blade of grass had already reached the 8th layer of energy cultivation realm. Its talent was indeed a bit strong. Heaven Earth Grass replied, while cultivating, I always flash some memories about cultivation. It seems to be a set of cultivation techniques. Hanju was not surprised. After all, Heaven Earth Grass had followed immortals to comprehend the Tao. Too much memory was lost. Only a little bit was remembered. A speck of dust can fill the sea. A stalk of immortal grass can cut stars. Master, do you think this might be hinting that I should take the path of a sword cultivator? It's most likely. You can cultivate with peace of mind. If there's anything abnormal, tell me at any time. Hanju instructed. Heaven Earth Grass nodded happily. Okay, Master. Since the death of Green Python Great Sage, cultivators from all over the world had come in droves. Jade Pure Holy Sect was very popular. At this time, Fang Liang had also arrived at Jade Pure Holy Sect. Seeing so many people, Fang Liang was a little dazed. He didn't know where to find God-slaying elder. Fortunately, Jade Pure Holy Sect had set up an admissions office. Fang Liang timidly stepped forward to inquire about the whereabouts of God-slaying elder. The one receiving him was Gu Yugan. In these years, he had seen too many people using God-slaying elder's name. Everyone wanted to be God-slaying elder's disciple. How can he accept disciples as you wish? Hurry up and queue at the back. Who knew? At this time, Fang Liang took out the God-slaying token. What happened next goes without saying. Gu Yugan instantly brought Fang Liang to ascetic immortal mountain. After all, this was a token issued by God-slaying elder. Hanju was too lazy to pay attention to him. Yang Tiandong instantly flashed to Fang Liang's side. Miss, what's your name? Fang Liang was amused by his dead appearance. I'm called Fang Liang. This group of century-old straight men were drooling at the sight. A graceful and elegant lady, a perfect match for a gentleman. Miss, you look as refreshing as the spring breeze, making people feel comfortable. Who knew? Hanju passed by the 4 of them and tossed out a sentence. He's a man. The 4 instantly petrified. Master, is it too late to drive him away now? We don't need men anymore. Yang Tiandong muttered. Hanju asked Sun Chang'an, do you still want to take in disciples? At these words, Yang Tiandong, Dark Prison Chicken, and Murong Chi were startled. Sun Chang'an also asked hesitantly, Master, you want me to take in disciples again? Hanju nodded. That's right. I still need to continue cultivating, but Sun Chang'an, you're different. Your physique is equivalent to passive cultivation. Even if you don't cultivate, you can constantly improve on your own. You're the best choice to lead people, and it won't delay your cultivation. Yang Tiandong shouted at Sun Chang'an unconvincingly. Murong Chi's cultivation has almost caught up to you. Are you afraid of losing face and don't dare to take in disciples? Yang Tiandong hurriedly recommended himself. Master, how about this? If the fat guy won't accept him, how about I do it? Hanju glared at him and said unhappily, if I let you take him in, I'm afraid you'll send him to other demon kings to be their grandson. Yang Tiandong instantly lowered his head in shame. Hanju called Fang Liang over. Fang Liang thought Hanju was going to accept him and was extremely excited. Yang Tiandong hurriedly introduced, don't look at this fatty being old and ugly, he is your master. Fang Liang was a little disappointed. After all, the master he had in mind was God-slaying elder. Hanju said, with your current cultivation, if you have any doubts, anyone present can easily answer them. When your cultivation improves in the future and they can't answer your questions, I will personally teach you. In my place, there is no difference between master and disciple. Fang Liang finally put his mind at ease and immediately knelt to Sun Chang'an, calling out master. Hanju looked at the lively 5 people and couldn't help but sigh. Big disciple Yang Tiandong, demon saint bloodline. Second disciple Su Qi, the reincarnation of a jinx. Third disciple Sun Chang'an, reincarnation of the upper realms primordial spiritual ginseng. Big grand disciple Morong Qi, reincarnation of the divine palace's god of war, revered as marvelous truth divine emperor. Second grand disciple Fan Liang, child of heaven and earth. Dark prison chicken, reincarnation of the upper realms demon saint. True form is dark prison phoenix. Chaotic heavenly dog, lucky divine beast. There's also the heaven earth grass that can become an immortal god. All beings of great destiny, an all-star lineup. The championship is just around the corner. Perhaps I'll ascend after they have developed further, or let them ascend first and back me up in the future. Hanju shook his head and smiled, not thinking too much. By the time they cultivate to ascension, who knows how long it will be. He instructed Sun Chang'an, the jade purity art can be passed on to him. Don't let him leave the mountain before the golden core realm. In another flash of years, 9 Cauldron Sage brought a group of disciples back and officially took charge of Jade Pure Holy Sect again. A girl who came with him made the hearts of the sect's disciples flutter. Chan Yuer's return caused quite a stir in Jade Pure Holy Sect. The first thing she did when she came back was to find her master, but no matter how she looked, Chan Yuer couldn't find Shishuan Fairy. Li Qingzi came to welcome 9 Cauldron Sage. Chan Yuer hurriedly asked, sect leaderly, why isn't my master here? Li Qingzi said, Shishuan Fairy is in seclusion in Elder Han's cave residence. Chan Yuer instantly froze. Shishuan Fairy is in seclusion in Elder Han's cave residence? It's over. I calculated everything, but I actually miscalculated my master. Chan Yuer carefully recalled. Hanju was very indifferent to everyone, but he often showed a smile to Shishuan Fairy. Now that the two of them lived so close, didn't that mean they were close to water and pavilion, hitting it off with each other, shoulder to shoulder, intimate and affectionate? The more Chan Yuer thought about it, the angrier she became. She hurriedly asked Sect Leader Li to find out the situation, wanting to know when her master moved to Hanju's place. Sect Leader Li said it was something that happened quite a while ago, but he happened to be moving some things over there. If Chan Yuer couldn't find the way, he could guide her. Learning that the sect leader had also moved to ascetic Immortal Mountain, she finally breathed a sigh of relief. It turned out that her master was like the sect leader, borrowing spiritual energy there to cultivate. Chan Yuer thought to herself that she was overthinking it. Junior brother doesn't seem to be someone who falls in love easily. Junior brother and sect leader have an extremely good relationship, so it's reasonable for them to cooperate with each other. No, the problem seems to be even bigger. Chan Yuer immediately went to ascetic Immortal Mountain. Hanju opened the protective mountain formation and let Chan Yuer into the cave residence. Junior brother, long time no see. Chan Yuer called out excitedly. Hanju glanced at Chan Yuer's cultivation. Although she had been away for a long time, Chan Yuer's cultivation had improved quite quickly, already at the 9th layer of the golden core realm, but it was still a bit slow. Chan Yuer said that her advancement speed naturally couldn't compare to junior brothers. She had no intention of discussing cultivation now and immediately asked Hanju about Shishuan Fairy. Chan Yuer asked solemnly, my master has lived a secluded life, rarely interacting with others. How did you manage to bring my master over? Did she come willingly, or did you do something to her?